Recording. Hello, welcome. It's us again, back with another thing we're doing. It has been over 2 years, and we're still doing this. I think by the time we finish, we may be retired. So good times. We're back again. We're going to talk about more video games. This time we have finally moved on to this little beauty right here. We have finished up all the two boys games. We're on to the three boys games. Games three of us put on our list of importance of video gaming. So with all that said, let's get started. Pulled up some stuff. I dragged away from it, of course. First game we're going to talk about is Persona 4 Golden. Now, I'm going to take a wild guess and say that this is me and Justin that talked about this game.
Definitely me.
Huh?
I think so.
Couldn't tell you, but I will say that there is one thing I should correct you on in the intro, and that is none of us are ever going to retire. So,
Fuck you! I got a pension, man.
Yep, same. I'm retiring.
Government work.
Persona 4 is also on my list.
Oh, okay, cool. So was it me and you then? Or no, there had to be three of us, right? I know, like Dino fucked things up by leaving, so then it would make me think it's me, you, and Justin then.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, yeah, I mean, I like Persona 4 Golden. Let's see, game released by Atlas in 2008. We got the golden version, which I think this is this is the footage from you're seeing on the screen there. It has been on the list, multiple lists of the greatest games of all time, and has a Metacritic score of 93. So, Persona 4. Does anyone else want to start off, or you want me to kick it off?
Go ahead, kick it off.
Yeah, cool. So Persona 4, this was, obviously this is if you're unaware of what it is and never played it, it's a JRPG. It's turn-based. The Persona series is like a spin-off from the Shin Megami Tensei series, which is like hardcore Japanese RPGs that are just not fucking fun. I don't give a fuck what Chris says. But this one is revolved around having fun. Each Persona game, 3, 4, and 5, it's all about like you are a teenager with making friends, and you're basically balancing out this these crazy sets of circumstances with being a teenager. So one minute, like the whole thing you're going to see in the top right, 11/11 Friday. The game runs on a schedule. You have to choose what you want to do every day. You have to balance out your social life with playing an RPG and getting stronger and leveling up and getting items and stuff. It's insanely interesting. Like once you get into it, it's just super addicting because you start looking at the calendar. You're like, okay, wait. I need to level up, but I've also got to go talk to this person before, because this is the only day they're away. Every other day they're busy working, because you want to talk to these people so they strengthen your bonds and do social links and stuff that the industry has copied on different games now. But it's a fantastic game. There's a lot of depth. They put a lot of focus on like the social interactions between you and the different party members. Like you want to build the social links, but each one tells a story, and each story ends up being really interesting. It's not just dialogue you want to skip through. This here, I think this is kind of near end game. It's hard to pick a spot to put footage on to really like get it, because Persona is a slow burn. Each 3, 4, and 5, if you want to beat it, I mean, you're talking 100-hour playthrough, no problem. And this is just about the same.
So is that like 100 hours each, or is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I've beaten Persona 5 3 times. Each time was like 100 hours, and then the Royal expansion was like 120 or 130. It's fucking nuts.
That's in addition to?
Well, no, like each run it was like 100 hours for me, because I wanted.
No, you said with the expansion it was 120, so it's like, is that an additional 120 or 120 total?
No, 120 total.
Okay.
So it's like the game and the little post game and stuff like that. And game's awesome. I loved it. I first started with Persona 3. It was good. I was interested in it, but it was really rough around the edges. AI was horrendous in that game because you could not control your party members at all, and they would drop the ball on you like hardcore. And the Shin Megami Tensei and Persona, they both have like these very tough battle systems where it's like you're feeling like a god 1 second, but oops, you missed your move. Now your guy fell down and now he's stunned. Now the enemy's hit your weakness. Now you're dead, and it's over just like that. Persona's a little bit more forgiving like that. Persona 4 was the first game where they actually let you control your characters, and I think it's like probably the smartest thing they've ever done. Just allowing you to have fun and stop restricting you so much. And as the series goes on from 3 to 4 to 5, you see like those restrictions like lay off. And it seems like they've now with 5 found like this perfect middle ground for like, allowing people to enjoy the game and not making it too crushing while also having complex mechanics and things like that. Cast of characters is great in this game. All their stories are interesting. I'm trying to remember the overall theme of this game, but it always has something to do with like, you are these teenage characters. You're thrust in this world. A lot of it's like it's either like unfair, you're being held down by like adults or something, or like a lot of the characters struggle with their identity, and a lot of their side missions are born out of that. A lot of these worlds are like that he's in, they're all like metaphors for something going on in the plot and things like that. It has a lot of cool themes. The Persona series, the OSTs are fucking amazing. Like just really cool jazzy music. It's the kind of music that like people wouldn't expect to like, and then they play the game, they're like, oh no, this is fucking sick. And I think like Giant Bomb, I think like Jeff Gerstmann from Giant Bomb like loves this game in like the weirdest fucking way. But yeah, I mean, I've been talking for like a minute 6 straight. What do you guys think, Jose? What did you have any specific memories of the game?
Absolutely, yeah. So this game was probably historically I've just not given a shit about JRPGs even back Super Nintendo days. I just don't. They never jived with me for whatever reason. Maybe just impatient, or I'm not sure. But for some reason, the particular podcast I was listening to when this game was kind of coming out, we're just talking about it. Ended up buying a Vita, not for this game, but for something else. And this game was like $20 on eBay or something. So I picked it up. Played it, like instantly fell in love with it. It was super easy to pick up and play. It didn't feel like overbearing or anything like that. What I liked was what was really surprising to me about this game was how deep some of the themes are in it.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of expect it's not this cartoony anime. Oh, it's going to be about, whatever, But this game's about like, oh no, this is about, the faces that you show to the public, one to your parents, one to your friends, and about who are you really, and this and that. I was like, oh man, that's kind of badass. That's kind of cool, And it just kind of goes on like that, the whole thing, and the million cool characters in it. Got one guy you think is going to be the bully of the whole thing, and ends up being in your party. It's just such a cool story, such a cool battle system. I mean, I guess by today's standards, probably like really rudimentary now because they're all kind of advanced, and specifically with the newer Persona games. But man, I just really, really loved and enjoyed this game. I credit this game for making me even care about JRPGs. I wouldn't even cared about them had I not known that they can be like this. So if you haven't played it, play it because it's a phenomenal game.
Nice.
I have not played any of these, so I will take your recommendation.
Super good.
You should. And they're remaking it, I believe. I think they're doing a updated version of it, but
yeah, they haven't officially announced it, but like the patents have been made and shit like that, where it's like, oh, it's coming.
No, they showed a quick clip of it.
Did they? Oh, yeah. Dude, you're right. My bad. I remember now.
Yeah, not too long ago.
All right, we keep cutting Justin off. Talk about the game, Justin.
Okay.
Are you muted or?
I played this on.
You are muted.
Well, I'm not muted to the world.
You're still muted.
I'm not muted to the world.
Okay, now you're muted. Now you're not muted.
It's gonna. The recording will show I wasn't muted, but.
He was just making commentary on the themes of Persona 4 by intentionally having yourself muted.
Very meta.
Exactly.
Yep.
I'm just talking about everybody else's opinions on the record, but off the record. I like this game because it changes it up all the time. I think you mentioned that you have like this time management part, but you also have like this kind of dungeon crawly JRPG, more classic JRPG kind of part. But I think my favorite thing is that it changes it up even more than that. Like a little bit before this, we were looking at like taking a test in a classroom. So it'll just be like you're going through the calendar days, and like some calendar days, like there's a test. And if you were paying attention, if you were paying attention on a previous day and you know the answer to the question, then you get like a small little boost. And that boost carries over to the dungeon crawling part. And, but all of these things, like, there's so many different things, but they're all, like, kind of robust and they all kind of feed into each other. Like, the dungeon crawling game and, like, the combat is, like, super in-depth and has, like, almost, I kind of viewed it as kind of like almost like a Pokemon-esque, or like a pet raising simulation, like kind of those kind of games where like you level up one thing and then you level up another thing, and then like because you have these two things at a high level, you can unlock like this kind of hybrid, better version of both of them, and then that mixes with like another hybrid that branches off, in another direction, and then you can start taking those moves and like you can take those moves and like have other things learn them that like weren't that don't like originally learn that move. You can like put one move from somebody else. There's just like a lot of like freedom with everything, which is what I really like. That and like the calendar where there's like kind of always something going on. It doesn't really feel like you're going through levels. It really feels like you're going through like a calendar year, which I thought was really cool. So I just like blasted through this game in like a week.
Oh wow.
A week, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Who's your romance?
In this one, Yukiko, I think.
Yeah. I might have done her too, just because like she's so pure. I was like, all right, I want the like the fairy tale romance and everything. Oh man, yeah, no, and game's excellent. Fuck, like I think with this remake coming out, it's gonna fucking blow people away because, Persona 5 was massive. It just got a huge fan base and everything, and like. But this game was doing numbers and getting people that have no business playing this game to play this game, and it was a Vita title or like a PS2 title that no one had. It's crazy. This game has like just the right balance of like it's a little more difficult than Persona 5. It's way more like happy, fun, whatever than Persona 3. And so I think like a lot of maybe some of the characters might resonate with people more, but I think it's gonna kill. It's gonna be great. I really hope that they do the exact same thing with 5 and 3, where like they don't like what you're seeing in the gameplay is like the dungeon crawling, but it's all RNG dungeons. Run through here, hit a guy, go to the stairs, go to the next floor, and I hope they do like fully like like tailored dungeons, like just like Persona 5.
Are the dungeons? Are they like randomly generated?
Yes. 3 was terrible. It was literally like you had one dungeon and it just went up 100-something floors. And you would just gate yourself every 10 floors or so. Next story beat, okay, go up 10 floors, and the color of the walls would change. Like this one, at least, there's certain sequences that are unique, but but at the very least, like you're going through these RNG dungeons, and at least they look different. like, each one is themed after like what's going on with the character. To be honest, I don't remember this at all.
either.
So like this area that we're watching in the stream, those hallways are all randomly generated, so you don't exactly know where to go.
Exactly. Yeah. So you're exploring, you're finding the thing and all that. The
Is
one
it
I have
like
it on. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, is
Yeah,
it?
this one.
I'm seeing like during the battles it says rush with the letter Y or button Y.
Yeah, it's like auto battle.
Oh, so it's just auto battle.
Yeah.
It's not context sensitive, like timing buttons, like
No,
what you're doing or something.
No, unfortunately not. No, there's nothing like that in this one. This is pure, just like turn-based. Pick your thing, hit the button, hope your plan works out.
Okay.
Yeah. And like this area, try to get out of this like battle because who cares? Good lord, that's a lot of battle menus. So this is like I remember this one specifically. This is a bathhouse because the character in it, what you're doing is you're going into these dungeons, but they're like dungeons of the mind. They're like mental prisons that that characters put themselves in. And this one is of like a quote unquote bully type character, someone who's like really tough and like doesn't take shit from anyone. And this is like a bathhouse, I think, or this might be for a different thing, but I remember it being because the dude like he's so insecure, like he wants to, like the bully guy wants to be like a person. He likes to sew, he likes soft things, he likes to do things that are not of a whatever you call it, like they're not typical of a tough guy, but he's scared to show that to the world because then he'll get made fun of and all that. And so like this thing, I think it's a bathhouse because like his persona, the thing you have to stop is, or the thing you have to help him out with is that like he's like a very closeted homosexual or something like that. Or like I wish I had a better way to describe it, but like when you find out that what's going on here is, when you find out what this place is, it's like him like taunting you with like hot dudes, and he's wrapped in a bath towel, and it's like way over the top because it's like an amplification of like all of your anxieties and self-consciousness and things like that. And there's like a bunch of these types of dungeons, and going through them itself is like a story to kind of you get a little bit of that environmental storytelling. But yeah, long way.
So is it just where, because I don't know, I guess I'm trying to understand basically the battle stuff, it's like a different world, and then they're in regular day in other parts, right?
Yeah.
Is the stuff that's in some different world, is that like in their imagination, or it's actually real, they're getting transported there?
No, it's more of like an imagination thing. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like they're imagining the bathhouse thing. It's not like it's actually happening. It's like an imagined world built on the anxiety of that guy, for instance. But it's not like they're actually getting transported and walking around there.
No. I mean, like these people are actually doing that in this world. They are like physically in these in this mental. It's really fucking complicated, and it's also been like 10 years since I played this game, so I'm having trouble remembering all the details. But yeah,
I think it is like I think somebody.
they crawl into a TV to get here.
Like the story, I think at the very beginning of the game, like somebody dies, like as a result of not
snowboarding,
not reconciling this like imaginary world correctly, and then these characters find that they are able to go into the imaginary world and like kind of help people.
Okay, so they are going into this, like it is an imaginary world, but they're actually going there.
There's magic. It's
okay,
not.
So magic is real. It's not like it's just completely in their brain and they're having hallucinations or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, that clears it up way more.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's Persona 4. Anyone have anything else I want to throw on top of that? No? All right.
Nope, I don't think so.
Love it. So we'll go ahead and throw it on our listy list here. Persona 4 Golden. All right. Next up on the chopping block, Kingdom Hearts 2. Whew, fantastic. Kingdom Hearts 2, Squaresoft game before Square Enix. What?
Wasn't there a game in between?
The one we skipped some. So if I didn't mention this on the stream already, we're looking right here. So we did KOTOR. We've already talked about. It's on like episode 2 or 3 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So what happened was before Jose came on, we had a list. He came on after it. Then I redid all these numbers. So it's okay. So he already he had KOTOR on his list too, apparently.
It's like I remember talking about it, but I was like, if it's on there again, I'm happy to talk about it again.
Yeah, I know you would be. The only thing I feel bad for is that, like, I don't want to start a whole new other discussion on something we've already done. We have a video of, but poor Jose doesn't get to spill his guts about it. But anyway, moving from there, we were back. We're talking about Kingdom Hearts 2. We're talking released by Squaresoft in 2005. You're never going to believe this. It has been called one of the greatest games of all time by IGN.
Oh, I was going to say by Craig.
Yeah.
IGN.
That's actually, you know what? I wouldn't even say this is one of the best games of all time. Not even close. But like, I would say it's one of my favorites. So that's why it's on here, right? This is going to be the one game that bucks this Metacritic trend, and it's by far the lowest rated one at 81. And yeah, so like, I'm pretty sure. So I know this is me. I'm going to guess Josh. And who else put this on here?
I mean, it's me.
Yeah. Seems like a Chris Rivera game for sure.
Definitely me.
All right. Well, hey, Josh, do you want to start off, man? Talk a little bit about Kingdom Hearts 2? Tell us how you feel about it. How does it make you feel?
Yeah, no. Kingdom Hearts 2, well, I guess kind of stepping back a little bit, just talking about Kingdom Hearts in general.
Mm-hmm.
I remember at the time I was like really, really big into Final Fantasy. Like that was like my favorite. Anything Final Fantasy was my favorite. And I remember there was an announcement where like, hey, Square Enix is going to be teaming up with Disney, and that sounded like the most like bonkers thing to me. And like, they're going to be making a game together. It's going to be a Japanese RPG. And I'm like, and I couldn't even picture what that looked like in my head. And I remember, before there was like screenshots or anything released, I pictured like, I thought it was going to be, because people kept calling it Final Fantasy meets Disney. So I thought it was going to be, like Squall and like Renoa and like, other people from like past Final Fantasy games teaming up with Mickey Mouse and stuff. And then that's when, they showed like, they started releasing art of it. And, that's when I kind of started realizing, it's going to be like its own thing. And, so Kingdom Hearts 1 came out, obviously a big hit. And then 2 came out. And not only did 2 pick up where 1 left off, but like, it did it so much more better. It was more fleshed out.
Yeah.
I mean, God, everything about it was so cool. And I think what part of what made the game so cool too was just the fact that like when in history it released, like when in like modern pop culture that it released, like the timing of it was just perfect. And yeah, I remember the vibe I got from 2 was like, it felt more adult. It felt more mature, because Kingdom Hearts 1 was kind of more kiddish and stuff. And the theme of 2 just felt more adult, which I liked. It's such a good game.
Yeah, I remember. I know what you're talking about. I remember going to Target to pick up Kingdom Hearts 1 and feeling like kind of embarrassed. Like, I don't know, man. I'm like a teenager playing these fucking Mickey Mouse games and shit like that.
Yeah.
And you force your way through it, and you play through number 1, and it starts getting pretty cool at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, and like Square Enix and Disney. Well, what's kind of funny about Kingdom Hearts is like Disney didn't really do shit with it. They did no advertising on their end. They didn't really do anything to their parks to like include the game. It was all like Square Enix. They were the ones carrying this like on their backs when they were like, when it came to announcing it and releasing it and everything. And they still did a good job. Like, do you guys remember like the release trailer?
For the first one in particular.
Yeah, the first one was really good.
Utada Hikaru and all that.
Dude,
Yeah.
like, both games had like really good songs in their release trailers. And it just made you want to play it. Like as soon as you saw it, the music was hitting and stuff, and you see Sora kind of like floating there in this like dream state and everything, and
Yeah.
it just felt so cool. And I thought like it was interesting too that like Sora in part 2, Sora kind of shared the spotlight more with like with other characters than just kind of like it just being him. But yeah, good game.
Justin, how do you feel about it?
I am the opposite. I think I was like a little bit younger. So when Kingdom Hearts 1 came out, I was still young enough that it wasn't super cringy to buy a Disney game, but I had played basically no Final Fantasies. I think like I went over to a friend's house and played Final Fantasy VIII for like an hour, like one time. So like I was into this game because it was Disney, and I was a Disney-raised child. And
you played it for the Disney characters.
Yeah, I was like, oh, sick. There's like a RPG game where you can play against play all the different like worlds. I was like, that's super cool. And then I just kind of got sucked in because there's like a lot of game to it. Like, like it's definitely not like a game for like small children. Like there's like an RPG aspect to it. You like level up and you can choose the different. I always liked how you could have different playthroughs, choosing the different builds. Like there was like the
the sword, the shield, and the staff.
Yeah. So like I thought that was really cool that like I could play one way and my friend could play another way, and we'd have like vastly different ways of playing through the same game, and we could talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then other than that, I kind of agree with what everybody else is saying. Like 2 just kind of improved on 1 and was a little bit more had more mature themes, I guess, and was just super solid, and yeah.
I never played this one when it came out.
That sucks, man.
I know. Well, like, so what happened is I had gone through a pretty rough breakup with my college girlfriend, and that was like a couple months before this. And I had this on pre-order, and I had immediately jumped into World of Warcraft after that breakup, which just then consumed the next several years of my life. And so this sat in plastic, wrapped in the closet for the next till like 2010, I think is when I pulled it out. I didn't actually end up getting to finish it either, because I started it and then I got busy with school and getting married and all this other stuff. So I've actually never finished this one.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I really
played the first part of it and it was great, but I think, I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things I have to just start over from the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm just intimidated by all of the story stuff that happens in all the mobile games and all that other stuff that supposedly happens in between this. And it was like, I remember trying to read about it at the time and being confused. And now it's like, there's so much more stuff. I'm just like, well, fuck, is it even worth it now?
Yeah, that's all bullshit. Like they released that Game Boy Advance game that has cards, so Justin loves it.
Incredible.
Fucking yeah, incredible.
I was gonna say that's like right up your alley.
But yeah, no, the story in these games is after the first one, it's just convoluted bullshit all the time. Just all you need to know is that the guys in the black cloaks are bad, and that cool the Final Fantasy characters are there, and let's do the fighting and your power friendship.
Wait a second.
So really just kind of ignore the story because...
Hold on, Christopher, I was going to say something about me being racist.
Close. So you said something about the bad guys being in black cloaks?
Yeah.
So the foreskin ghosts are originally from Kingdom Hearts and not from Final Fantasy VII Remake.
The foreskin ghosts are brown, dude.
So
Well,
does that mean if the coats are foreskin, do they put ketamine down like their throat or down their nose?
Now you're spoiling Kingdom Hearts 3. So thanks.
Yeah, I haven't played that one either, so it's just a wild guess.
Yeah.
I actually
But,
haven't played 3 either.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's not nearly as good as this.
We just played 3.
Yeah. I got a lot to say about this game. Yeah, like I was talking to Josh, I was like, when I got the first one, I was like, all right, it's kind of cringe, but I feel like I should play it. And I did, and I was like, it got kind of cool at the end there. And then after enough time had gone on, they showed off the trailers of 2, and it looked fucking sick. There was like dudes, everybody had black cloaks and dual wielding keyblades, and they're running down the sides of buildings, like fucking fighting each other in the sky and shit. I'm like, wait, what the fuck is this? Like,
It's kind of peak mid 2000s, like with the cloaks and the trench coats and stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is how you remind me of who I really am. Yeah, that, if you know what I mean. But yeah, no, this game is just so fucking good. It is so good on every level except for how sometimes the story gets cringe and complicated. If you're not a fan of Disney, don't worry, there's dope ass Squaresoft characters. You don't like them either, you can look at the video. There is shit going on here. You're flying on a fucking thing, shooting a fucking Bahamut out of the sky, shooting lasers. If you like the ground-based combat, you saw the crazy combos going on. The one thing I'm sad about is that he has this thing called the drive gauge, and that is one of like the coolest things I've ever experienced in a game, where you're playing Kingdom Hearts, you got the sword, and you're at like level 5 or whatever, and you're like, huh. And then like you get into this one scripted, it's not a scripted battle, but it's you watch a cutscene, and then it's like, all right, and all of a sudden you have a second one in your hand. And you start pressing the attack button, and the fucking dude goes berserk. He's hitting like you go from like this level 5 peon to like this level 99 god who's hitting 50 times a second. And it's like, that was the moment for me. I'm like, no, this game is fucking different. It's gonna be sick. And then like you use the drive gauge later on, you level up, you turn into god. You don't even swing the swords swing for you. You're just standing there, arms crossed, floating around, invincible. Like, they knew how to nail the aesthetics so well to make it just like, to bridge that gap between like Disney kid stuff and like teenage, this is cool, but not sacrificing anything from either side. And then there's like the times where it's like you're going to the worlds, you're meeting the different Disney characters, then you go back and it's more of like story focused, more Square focused. You get to play with Auron from Final Fantasy X. You end up going to one part, and there's a battle where it's you, Cloud, and Squall fighting off an army of guys. How is that not the coolest goddamn thing ever in that point? So yeah, I love this fucking game. It is so much fun to play. I'm so happy. If the combat's
like the first one, then I could see how it'd be super satisfying, because the combat in the first one was like really a lot of fun.
Oh, the first one's garbage compared to this. Like, the combat gets insane in this one.
Oh,
like,
wow.
You have like the full abilities thing, and like throughout the whole game you're building up like, oh, I want to add this thing to my combo, but you can turn them on and off as you want. And then they start changing it at the end game, where it's like, I don't want a long combo, I want a short one that hits hard. And there's all this stuff to play with. It's and then you've got the different drives, the magics and stuff like that. Like, it's amazing stuff. And then they did really, really good use of like that, I don't know what you call it, the QTE, or it's like you have the context sensitive triangle button, or it's like, you'll be in a fight, oh, I gotta do this specifically for this fight. Like, there's a part coming up where it's like you gotta like fucking like shield yourself from like fucking lasers and stuff like that in the last boss, and it's fucking sick. It's I could gush about this game forever, but it's one of those games where it's like, I know there's like a ton of people who never played it, because it's not like, the Disney Squaresoft game isn't in there, like, it's not something that really interests them. But there is such a good fucking game here. It's like undeniable. And I feel bad for people who've never played this.
Yeah. Well, this game came out at an interesting time in gaming where there was like, there was a divide between like, pretty much it was JRPGs and then people who did not like JRPGs.
Yeah.
So the two camps were always like kind of like dissing on each other. The people that like JRPGs were talking crap about people who didn't because like, oh, you're too dumb to understand a good quality story. As where the other camp is like, oh, well, you're just into like, weird cartoony stuff and, and mixing it in with Disney didn't help either.
Yeah.
Like,
Anime
you remember
nerd.
when, yeah, exactly. No,
Yeah.
that's exactly
It's
what
like
it was.
peak weeboo.
Yeah, that was back when like anime was still like a niche thing, and who was it? Was it like MCP Pants or whatever that made that video where he's like dissing Kingdom Hearts 2? He's like, oh, but then look at Resident Evil. Like
Resident Evil zombies in the room.
Yeah. And then like that's the kind of stuff that was like being that's the kind of argument that was being had like on school campuses and stuff back in the days. Kingdom Hearts 2 is crazy because Kingdom Hearts in general, it's more than like just a game. Like people are into Kingdom Hearts that never even played the game, which is crazy to me. Like, oh yeah, like I cosplay as Sora at every convention. Oh, I've never played the game before, but I love the idea of Kingdom Hearts, and there was like mangas about it. Like you go to Hot Topic and there was like all the shirts there and stuff. Like it was huge, and it was a cool time.
Yeah,
it was fun.
Even Jenny wore a Kingdom Hearts shirt.
See, hell yeah, man. It was just cool. It just has such a cool like aesthetic to it, like especially Organization 13. They look so damn cool. Like who did back then? Who didn't want an organization robe with the big old hoodie to just like walk around in?
Going to the anime conventions and seeing like 13 people in the black robes just mobbing around, dude. It was sick.
Yeah, it was super cool.
Yeah, and it's like. And it's one of those games too where it's like the second sequel. I feel like, when you go to game trilogies and quadrilogies and anything that gets more than 2 games, it's like you have the first one is your proof of concept. You kind of see what works and what doesn't work. Then the second one is where you like take the things that work and you amplify it. And
you try to Empire Strikes Back it.
Yeah, like you do it, you nail it, you put it to the nth degree. It's extremely satisfying. This one specifically, this is Disney and Square. You can tell this is where like they're like, okay, this first one was great, make another one. I think Nomura still had like a lot of like sway in to make it how he wanted, and so he did, and it was like it's very anime inspired, very like action heavy and everything like that. So then when you finally get to Kingdom Hearts 3, it's Disney's got their hands on it. There's no Squaresoft characters. Your special moves are fucking hitting someone with a spinning pirate ship roller coaster ride and a water slide, and it's fucking lame. And so like this game is like a fucking miracle that it was allowed to happen. Oh man, that's Kingdom Hearts 2. I really like that they also did like the final mix as well, where like they brought out the extra bosses that you never got to fight and all this extra content, and they put really, really ridiculously hard shit in there. But yeah,
both the Kingdom Hearts games kind of straddle that period of time, like in the early 2000s when RPG for most people originally meant JRPG, and it was transitioning. It eventually transitioned into kind of more Western-based RPGs kind of took over, right? Like if you think about how popular Final Fantasy X was, and then fast forward to 10 years later, 11 years later, and 10 years later, you had Skyrim, right? And like what a drastic difference those two games are from each other. But there's all these games that kind of came out in between that were like part of that transition. And like this is one of those games, and it like just it. Again, I haven't played this one, but I played the first one. If this one is supposedly better, I'll trust you. Then it's just like hit after hit, right?
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next game, keeping pace so we can finish our things. We've got Resident Evil Remake. Oh man, this one's got some fans for sure. So Resident Evil Remake.
This is Dino's.
Well, this is definitely on mine. Yeah. It might actually not be on mine, but I definitely love it. But this is a Resident Evil remake, originally released on the GameCube. I think I can't remember if I pulled footage for the GameCube version. Yeah, these textures. This is the GameCube version. Released in 2002, launched to critical acclaim, put on, get this, multiple lists of greatest game of all time. Crazy. With a Metacritic score of 91. So does anyone remember? I feel like I'm gonna see Chris Rivera have this on his list, right?
I don't know, but either way, I'm just glad we get to finally talk about a good game. Am I right?
Yeah, fuck up. Is this so? I would assume this is. I mean, like Jose, is this on your list too, or no?
No, I have a Resident Evil, but just not this one.
Okay, so I think this must.
Yeah, it's probably on my list. I didn't check the list before.
It was.
Yeah, it's on his.
Yeah.
It's on his list.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is it's one of my favorite remakes of all time. I think generally it's regarded as one of the best remakes of all time, kind of critically by, the OGs and whatnot that played the original and played this one. And I think one of the biggest testaments to it and how well it's held up is that you can play this game right now. You load it up on Steam, and not just graphically, like as you can see, just like from this footage, like the game looks incredible. They took the whole method of pre-rendered backgrounds to an entire different level. Because the thing that's missed upon with a lot of people when they look at this game versus the original release is this game came out like 5 years later, right?
Yeah.
So if you compare the original Resident Evil 1 to this, right? So these are all pre-rendered backgrounds, but they did really cool stuff with lighting. As you can see, the shadows actually react with the geometry. You see like the shadows cast there. So they did some really cool stuff with the tech. But beyond the technology, there are several gameplay improvements from this version over the original. One of the big ones is you had what are called defense weapons, right? So if you play as Chris Redfield and a zombie grabs onto you, you can press the left trigger. And if you have a grenade in your inventory, you'll stick a grenade in the zombie's mouth. And you can either just walk away and wait for it to blow their head off, or you can actually shoot it and blow up the grenade in the zombie's head and kill him. Whereas Jill, she had like these little daggers that she can jam in the head of zombies that grab onto her. Then right here, as you see, there was this a zombie that was just sitting on the floor, and one of the very cool gameplay mechanics that they added to this version of the game is they're called the Crimson Heads, and every time you kill a zombie, they have like about 2 hours or so before they will actually come back to life, and they start running. They have these long ass fucking claws. They'll fuck you up. They have more health, and the way that you get around that is you actually find gasoline and you can light the bodies on fire. But in classic Resident Evil fashion, they don't give you enough gas, and so you kind of like you have to be strategic about it and pick. Okay, I'm going to be coming through this area a little bit more. I'm going to burn this zombie. Or you go, okay, like this room here, it's a little bit easier to avoid because you can kind of just get the AI to chase you, right? But yeah, I mean, it
this
was
is
just
HD.
improvement in every possible way. The voice acting is better, but it's still campy, so it still has the like the feel of the OG Resident Evil. It doesn't try to be too serious. It adds some story elements, and it also does some pretty cool stuff with the floor layout. So if you played the first game, um, it kind of plays on that. So there's certain rooms that are in different places, and some puzzles are done in different orders from the original game. So even if you're somebody that knew the original game forwards and backwards, this would still be a fresh experience. While at the same time, it has that core DNA that made the original, such a classic.
Yeah, I want to say like too, when it came out on GameCube, it's like it was one of those games of that generation that just looked so amazingly, incredibly good. Like you couldn't believe it. Like, I just remember I'd be sitting in the main hallway, just like watching the shadows, like, from like the effects on the walls and stuff like that. Like, how the fuck did they make it look this good? And like now you're seeing like the HD remaster, on an LCD screen, at 1080p or whatever, and like, but back in the day, dude, like the back on the CRT screen, it was absurd. It was absolutely absurd. And like on top of that, like you've got this amazing aesthetic with this game. Like the first game was a little corny, some of the music, sounded, a little of the time, like those weird like 1990s, like they thought horns were scary for some reason. So they would put a
Not
lot of
just
horns in the
horns.
game. Yeah.
It's not just horns, but it's like shitty synthesizer horns. They sound like farts.
I'm gonna try to get to the scariest thing in the fucking universe real quick. But yeah,
They should have put vuvuzelas in.
Vuvuzela, is this it?
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it goes so fast.
I do remember playing this when it came out and thinking, like, visually, oh my god, this is the next generation. This is it. It can't get any better than this. It's like, oh my god, like look at the water and the details of the lighting. And I mean, honestly, this game is aged pretty well if you think about it.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
the HD
really,
version
really
now.
well.
Yeah,
And
it
you get
still
on-
holds up incredibly well on modern systems.
Yep, you can get on Steam, and I'm sure there's tons of mods to fucking make up-res all these textures, make things look smoother, make Jill have a bikini costume, anything you need for a modern Resident Evil game. Yeah.
I think what I'm trying to say is that
I like that you said need
Justin
with bikini costume.
Justin should absolutely play this version and not the original.
Yeah. Oh man, God, I'm getting fucking anxiety just getting to this part. Fucking A. But yeah, I mean, like, it's. I don't know if this is the first Resident Evil we've talked about, like in our top 50. But I mean, like what a series! It's just such a such a really, really cool series. I remember being a kid. And even the first Resident Evil, the janky, blocky one, like that was terrifying to me. Like I remember like running through a hallway thinking a dog was going to jump through a window, and I put the controller down and I'm like, I can't do it. And it's like to me right now, it's like the equivalent of being scared of an Atari game, right? It's all like just like fucking janky ass blocks. But they were doing something cool at the time, and this remake is fucking amazing. Games, you don't get a lot of these games anymore that are like this interesting mix of like puzzles, exploration, horror. I feel like the only other thing that's like really close is Silent Hill, but I mean, like they're not really doing anything with that series except for making shitty games and one good remake.
This was a Nintendo exclusive for a long time, right? I remember that was like a big deal when this game was being developed. Like, oh, Nintendo's finally getting a Resident Evil. I remember being so jealous of my PlayStation friends that finally got a Resident Evil for GameCube. That was awesome.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that it wasn't just Resident Evil. There's this. It was right around the time GameCube launched in Japan. They had a press conference where they revealed this game. And then there was a couple other games they were working on. There was Killer 7, Beautiful Joe, Project Number 9, I think it was called. And then there was this other game that never came out. I think it was called Rising Phoenix. Looked like this kind of Kid Icarus, Rogue Squadron kind of game. And then, of course, Resident Evil 4, right? So Capcom, for whatever reason, early on, they were high on the GameCube. And this was the first release of those games. There's this whole thing online. They called it like the Capcom 5, these exclusive games were coming out.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, yeah. It's good times. Justin, you think you'll ever play through this?
Yeah.
Do you think?
I mean,
yeah.
I liked too what little I had tried of it. So, yeah, this looks dope.
I think we should do an all boys let's play stream, and we just watch you play through this game.
I would be down.
We just all yell at you.
Yeah.
I would be down to get yelled at.
You're not doing it right. Oh man. Yeah. Anyone else have any memories? Anything they want to say about Resident Evil?
Enrico, wait.
Yeah. All right. Enrico, who shot him? Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. All right. Resident Evil remake. There we go. All
Time to
right.
plug our controllers into the other slot.
You know. So I still think we talked about this, but I guess not.
I don't think
But-
so. No, we talked about the other ones. Talked about
Yes.
3 and 2.
Make sure you're
Yeah.
ready, okay?
Well, Metal Gear Solid, an undeniable classic released by Konami in 1998 on the PlayStation 1. And one interesting note about this game is that it was on several lists to be one of the greatest games of all time. I would love to hear Jose talk about this game right now.
I don't like this game that much. No, I'm kidding. Ignore the wall of Metal Gear stuff on my in my living room.
There you go.
Yeah, man, this game, Jesus. To start off, I was. It's hard to be a Metal Gear fan, before this game came out. But like, I remember being a Metal Gear. Not a fan of Kojima or anything like that, but of the Nintendo game, just because it was so weird back then when that came out, and it always stuck in my head how weird it was, and how kind of cool it was. Come to find out that game was not really Kojima's vision; it was like a bastardized version of it. And it was really hard. I remember I never beat it, but when they announced Metal Gear Solid, I remember looking at all the PlayStation magazines when that came out, and I was being blown away. I was like, sweet. They're going to do the 3D one. I was all into it. It finally came out. I didn't have a PlayStation at the time it came out. My buddy did, and long story short, he got it. And I spent the night at his house like 5 days in a row, just watching him beat it, going back and forth with the controller, and it just spawned my love for this game. I loved everything about it. I loved how Kojima put his own little Kojima-ness in it before that was a thing, with the reading the memory card. Like, oh, it knows that you played Symphony of the Night, or it knows that you played this other game. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I was just really so impressed with how seemingly like the less powerful system PlayStation had, like the coolest game out at the time. It can continue to blow my mind, and it's such a. I just played this game recently, actually, like 2 or 3 months ago when I got the collection, and it holds up. I mean, it's not, obviously not as good as, the modern Metal Gears, but like, it's still fun. It's still, cheesy as it was, and it's still cool to play. It's just a really, really cool game, and one of my favorites.
Yeah. That's impressive too, because like the 3D PlayStation 1 games are not holding up well. A lot of them are very, very clunky, bad frame rate, or just like really like ugly like polygons and pixels and everything. But yeah, this I want to say I played this somewhat recently too, and yeah, it's fucking amazing. It's still amazing. Well, let me ask you though, since you just played through it, what is like the other versions have you do at this part where you need to be player 2? Oh, well, I know what he's doing.
Perfect
Yeah,
timing.
you go through that little menu screen, and it's kind of not as cool, but yeah, that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
But do you remember before this game came out? I don't know why it blew my mind when it came out, but it just did. Like the fact that the bosses like talk to you. For some reason, that wasn't a thing in video gaming.
Yeah.
Before this came out, but the fact that they like reacted to your hits and they talked to you and stuff like that, for some reason, to me, that was super, super cool back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was like one of the first games ever, right? That was like anywhere near like cinematic, right? Like
Yeah.
you're going to save these guys, and they're talking to you about fucking like in global geopolitics and fucking DARPA and like and missile crises and shit.
I mean, I was gonna say there's games that implemented cutscenes in cool ways before this, right? I mean, you can even go back to the old Ninja Gaiden games on the NES. That shit was next level for its time. But with this game, they were able to combine the
Very
modern
Hollywood.
technology at the time, right? So you had PlayStation using disc media, so they had all this space, so they were able to have all this all this voice acting, and for once, I mean, especially for the time that it came out, the voice acting was very good quality, right? Because if you look at the majority of games that came out before this, you had incredibly cheesy voice acting. I mean, even with Konami, right? You could go to Symphony of the Night with the "What is a man?" Miserable pile of lies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was just a couple years. That might have wait. Symphony of the Night was '97, right? So just like a little bit over a year after
Yeah.
Kojima comes over here and just drops this fucking massive load and is like, "Yeah, dude, get on the nuts." Because I mean, dude, the crazy thing about when this game came out, if you look at just like a few months span, you had I want to say Half-Life 1 came out, I think it was in August of '98, right?
Yep.
And then Metal Gear Solid came out, it was like September or October. And then you had Ocarina of Time come out in November. So you had these just three absolute classics.
Banger after banger. Yeah.
Yeah, that all revolutionized gaming in different ways come out within a few months. Like it's really crazy to look back on.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I remember this boss fight.
Yeah. You're fighting a fucking tank?
Yeah, when
Yeah,
I saw it's like, screw this, man, I'm done.
And this is like there's so many things. It's like I feel like people who don't play Kojima games, they don't understand why we see anything more than like, oh, Hollywood game with guy with guns and crawling around. It's like there are so many little things he does in his games that are so fucking cool and interesting. Like, your that other video clip or fighting Psycho Mantis, but hey, he's reading your memory card, and oh, you want to try to fight him? Like, oh, well, he can read your mind, so you have to take your controller and plug it into player 2. Like, and oh, he's going invisible, better use thermal goggles, and there's so many little things. It's like I don't have a great memory of all the things about that game. I'm sure Jose and Chris remember way more, but like there's stuff like, oh, like this key that you need to set off this nuke or disarm the nuke, it's there's not 3 keys, there's only one, and you have to heat it up and cool it down. So it's like you got to go take it to different places in the game to get it right. And then like, oh, you need to contact this person in order to move on with the game. Well, what's her contact info? Oh, I don't remember. Check the back of the CD case. And it's like, they mean the CD case, the one that you bought the game in. You flip it over on the back, and it has their codec information right there as like one of the sizzle screenshots that they use for it. And it's like this guy Kojima is a fucking genius. He's making high quality games. He's making them insanely unique, and he's doing these things with gameplay that are just like no one's doing, no one's thinking about, and it's like no one else can do it but him. It's just amazing. And this game coming along when it did, it was just like it was just amazing. It's
Yeah.
This
The
game
thing
didn't make my
that
list, but I do love this game. It's so good.
the thing that just when you was talking about the little unique stuff, one thing that just popped in my head was it's the same Psycho Mantis fight, but he's like, I'm gonna move your controller with the power of my mind. And I'm like, bullshit, you ain't gonna do that. And then like it starts moving like, because
yeah.
because it's like vibrating and stuff. Yeah, it just this whole game had its own vibe, and I could not get enough of this. The characters, any piece of media, any toy that came out, I wanted it, and I was just super super into it. Still am. But yeah.
The thing I remember actually when this game came out for me, because it came out, what was it, like 97 or something?
98.
98, yeah. Yeah, I was in high school, and I had just recently seen The Guyver 2.
Okay.
And No, The Guyver, right? You guys have seen those movies, right? Mark Hamill's in them.
No, I haven't.
So the guy who voices Snake, David Hayter, was the main actor for that movie, and I loved the. I mean, their movies are terrible, but like they're super fun for what they are, and I loved watching those movies. And I think Guyver 2, I can't remember what it's called, but it came out in like '94. And I remember watching it. Well, I was way too young to watch, but I definitely watched it. And then because I remember when this game came out, I was like, oh, this guy's voice sounds familiar. And so then when I found out that they're the same person, it actually got me more excited and made me enjoy the game more, which is stupid, but I think one of the things about this game was the voice acting itself is super, super solid. Like
No
from
pun
all the
intended.
side characters to like the main character, obviously, but like the voice acting is actually worth putting in the game. Because I think a lot of voice acting before this was just kind of
It was terrible.
it was terrible, right?
Or non-existent.
Yeah, or non-existent. But this, not only was it here, but it was executed really well to the point where like it helped you care about what was happening more.
Yeah, you compare it to like Mega Man X4, where it's like you literally had 3 sentences to say, and you've said them worse than any other human on the fucking planet has ever said a sentence before. That's fucking incredible. Good job. And then you get to this game, and it's like, we have a movie-sized script for you to read, and you're gonna nail it the whole time. And I don't know how Kojima got that as a Japanese person who, like trying to get Americans to, there's like no good voice actors at the time and shit like that. Like, a little miracle worker, Yeah. And this was also another game where it's like, going back to the eternal argument, is replayability a feature or a virtue? This is one of those games where it's like, when you're younger, this isn't like a 50-hour game. This is like an 8-hour game, but you beat it over and over. You can make different decisions about, which person you want to live or die. You get the different items. You can play it on hard. You get use the special stealth cloaking stuff. Get the different costumes, and that was really important back then to make a game like this, like to make games last longer for your dollar. Back when a $50 game was like what is it, like 150 in today's dollars or something like that. All right, does anyone else have anything to add on about a good old Metal Gear Solid?
What's everyone's? I know it's not on the list or nothing, but what's everyone's take on the GameCube remake of this?
I liked it.
Not as good.
Not this game. There was the GameCube remake was for 2.
No, Jose's right. The GameCube remake is called Twin Snakes, and it's about these two guys.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It uses 2's gameplay, but it puts it in this game.
Yeah, you're right. I remember playing Twin Snakes and liking it. It plays different. If I remember right, like it allowed you to go more first person for some of the aiming and stuff.
Yeah, it makes it easier.
It does kind of clean up the visual stuff too.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
For sure.
It helps that age quite a bit, I think.
Yeah. And also, did they use the same, they must have used the Metal Gear Solid 2 engine for this?
I think so, yeah.
For Twin Snakes?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think so. So Twin Snakes was developed by Silicon Knights, right, who made Eternal Darkness. And I'm pretty sure they just modified their own engine to make Twin Snakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah. All right. Metal Gear Solid. But yeah, I like that. I like the remake because it's good, but yeah, there is something there's something gritty about the original on PS1 that I still like. If I had to make a choice, I'd pick the PS1 version.
Yeah, the problem with Twin
same.
Snakes is that the first person aiming essentially breaks not only some of the boss fights, like for example, Ocelot, like you just go into first
Yeah.
person and just snipe them, right? Whereas like before you had Baker in the middle, so if you try to use the auto aim, you can accidentally shoot him, right? And they didn't really take account for some of those things in Twin Snakes. Um, and I think Twin Snakes is legit. You know, it's fun. I had a great time playing it. But if it came down to it, and someone tells me I've never played it before, I would say, yeah, play the PS1 version, or you know the MGS collection, which is obviously based on the PS1 version.
Yeah, honestly, kind of shocking that Konami hasn't like gone like, yeah, we'll just remake this.
I saw a thing recently where they were talking about how it'd be a lot harder to do or something. It's just, I mean, it's the same old like bullshit excuse that Konami gives for everything. Like, why can't you do something smart? And they're just like, because we big dumb. It's just,
Metal
I mean,
Gear
it's the same thing
Pachinko.
every time.
Well,
Well, yeah, I mean, that's probably where all their money goes, anyways, right?
I have a feeling that they are going to remake this one, and that they started with Metal Gear Solid 3 because technically it's the first chronologically. It takes place in the 60s. So I have a feeling they're going to do Metal Gear Solid 1 remake after that, but they're not going to call it Metal Gear Solid 1 remake. They'll call it, like with this one, they're calling it Delta, right? So I think it'll happen for sure.
All right. With that said, we're moving on to the next game. It is Final Fantasy X. Woo! This one's going to be tough to talk about because I want to keep it spoiler free for Jose, who may play it. Yeah.
No, I'm going. Yeah, I'm definitely.
We can do it without spoiling. We can do it without spoiling.
Yeah.
I think all of us have played this, so we can do it without destroying it for him.
Yeah. So, Final Fantasy X, released by Squaresoft in 2001 with a Metacritic score of 92. Now, I did do some digging, and through thorough research, I have come to find out that this actually did grace many lists for one of the top games ever made. Crazy.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, I don't believe it either. This is one of my favorite games. I think this is definitely my top 10. Fuck me. I remember watching this for the first time, and I think it's
blown away. Oh my god.
Literally, like my jaw was out. Like I could not believe what I was fucking seeing.
What
and it's
Craig
like another.
His dick was out actually.
The music for this this cutscene too was so bumping. I remember hearing this and like watching it for the first time, and I just completely just lost my shit. It's like, no way did they do this. This is incredible. And the game's going to look like this? And it kind of does.
And I want to say this was kind of early into, like, within the first year of the PS2 launch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2001. Where you had this, you had Gran Turismo.
And that's what ended up hurting the sales of Final Fantasy IX, was that by the time America got Final Fantasy IX, this game came out shortly after. So, and they announced that it was coming out. So people were like, you know what, I'm going to save my money and just buy 10. But yeah, this was like pretty early on in the PS2's life.
And it checks out because I remember, so I got the international version of Final Fantasy X, and I didn't find out I think they kept the English voice acting, or there's like not Japanese voices or something like that. I don't know. They gave me the impression that they had all the English voices set, so they preferred them or something. I don't know. I'm probably making something up. But yeah, no, this game's amazing. I remember it was Christmas. I had gotten a PS2 and some Best Buy gift cards, and I walked my ass down there, and I had my gift cards. I was looking, what game should I get, and I was really on the fence because I don't know, I wasn't a big fan of 9, and this game isn't like, it's not edgy cool looking on the cover. But then I ended up getting it, and then just fucking best decision I ever made. It's so goddamn good. There's just so much that this game just does right and nails right out the gate.
Super dodging lightning bolts. That part can eat my ass.
I could show you a trick how to do that actually, but yeah,
I mean, to eat ass or the lightning bolts?
Lightning ass. Yeah, we can do that.
Perfect.
So who is this? I know it's me and Josh. Who else is it? Did anyone else
on my list?
Okay,
yeah, it's
cool.
on my list.
Do you want to kick it
not
off?
the top. It's like number 15 on my list, I think.
Yeah. Do you want to kind of like lead the charge? Talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, I can a little bit. Like, Final Fantasy, like as a series, is something that I started off with in Final Fantasy IV, right? And I played them all kind of as they came out, but this one, when I brought this home, I guess because I don't personally love Final Fantasy VIII. I think that's a well-known here. But I love 9, and 9 is still my favorite. And so when this came out, I was a little apprehensive because it just didn't look. The gameplay didn't quite look the way that I thought it was going to look. But then I saw that cutscene, and then I was immediately sold. When I got it, my brother and I both had a PlayStation 2, and we played it. We each had like shared time with the CDs, so I would play it for X amount of time while he was playing something else, and then like a timer would go off, and we'd have to swap CDs. So he could have his X amount of time with the game. And so like we just went back and forth until we both beat it. But I think what I liked about this game is something that I tend to not like in other games, but this game seems to do it really well, is the way that the skill system works. You can really truly make your character do and be whatever you want. The sphere grid is great. I really love it, except for the fact that some of the like level spheres can be a little tough to pick up later. But other than that, I liked the way that they sort of balanced one type of character like Waka hitting air enemies, or Auron being used for armored enemies, or Riku for fast enemies, and so you kind of would have to swap your characters in and out in order to serve different functions within like the battle system, and I really appreciated that. I also really liked the summoning. I mean, what we're watching here, the summons were so cool. The first time I saw it, I was like, wow, this is so different. Like I get to be the summon.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like
not just hit a button, watch a cutscene, and then they fly away. You actually get to like play as them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you get to watch like the long cutscene the first time, and then you can have it skip it afterwards. But I just did like a replay of this like not that long ago, and it's still so good. This game is great. The story too is one of those things where you kind of think you see it coming, but you don't. I normally am trying to predict how things are going to go, and I didn't quite see how it was going to all turn out in the way that it did. And at the time, I was mad, but retrospectively, I think it was smart. And I think like I wouldn't want it any other way now, like looking back on it. But at the time in 2001, 2002, I was pissed. And I know this is an uncommon take, but man, I actually really like Blitzball. You can fuck off if you don't like Blitzball.
Blitzball's fine.
I think it gets like a lot of shit because people are just bad at Blitzball.
Well, it's a relatively boring mini game. I mean, you come off like Final Fantasy VIII had Triple Triad, and that was like this really addicting card game. And then Final Fantasy IX had its own version of a card game, and then like this one, it's more like it's a lot of like very slow, like I'm playing through the game right now, and like those Blitzball matches take like 15 minutes each, and it's like, dude, I just want to play a mini game, like. And then they force you into it because you need to do it to be able to get like the higher level limit breaks for Waka and shit like that.
I had at least 10 hours plus logged into just Blitzball, so I may be like not the right person to ask, but I liked Blitzball. I thought the world was actually really cool, the way that they built everything. You see this sort of what looks like ruins, society in decay, and almost like a post-apocalyptic rebuild, which is really interesting. And like little points where it's still being taken care of, so it still looks new.
Yeah, I mean, well, you're watching, like the game starts off, it's a nighttime, and then you get swallowed up by the big bad monster, and then you appear in this place, You're like, what the fuck is going on? And they tell you like, oh, that place you're from, that happened like 1,000 years ago. What are you talking about? And so like the game is exploring all of these different places, these worlds, these vistas. You're going on the summoning pilgrimage, but as the main character, you're seeing all this for the first time, and you're exploring this world, and you're wondering like, what the fuck happened? You're seeing these ruins. Those are ruins from when he was, before he got swallowed up 1,000 years ago, apparently. And so it's just all like, there's so much like context, and like, it's one of those games where it's like, you love to like just stop and take everything in and look around and kind of get a story from what you're seeing. And and then like them having like the voice acting for the full game for like the first time lent so much to like the emotion of it. It was so novel at the time.
I know that the voice acting for the main character in this is the English
It's not
is
bad.
a little.
It's not.
I mean,
bad.
it's not bad. It's not bad. I think it gets more flack than it deserves.
Yeah, it's all that one
Like,
clip
it's
that people
fine.
take out of context, and they don't understand that like he's doing
But
it
in
that on
context,
purpose.
it makes sense. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's exactly. It does fit.
Mhm.
I thought Kimari was like the coolest character ever in Final Fantasy at the time. I thought he was so cool.
Yeah, cooler than Auron.
Yeah, at the time.
Whoa.
Now I like Auron more, but at the time, yeah, I thought Kimari was awesome.
Josh, man, come talk to me about Final Fantasy.
It's okay, but it's not as good as 10-2. 10-2 is the best.
Look, you know what? 10-2's combat is really fun. I know that's maybe not the most popular opinion, but I really enjoyed it.
I like that game. I don't know. For me, well, okay, I know we're not talking about 10-2, but I like to run this big joke that I'm like in love with 10-2, but deep inside, I actually do enjoy that game. It's a fun game. Anyways, 10. Holy shit, man. Yeah, when it first came out, it blew my mind. There's a story I like to tell to people. Before 10 came out, there was I don't remember who released it, but there was a demo disc that had 10 on it, and you could play like the first like hour of the game.
Yeah.
And I remember I popped it into my PS2 and I booted it up, and the first second, it kicks you off where you're running along a cliff and you're running behind waterfalls and stuff. And you're like on a cliff with grass growing on the side of the cliff, and that shit blew my mind. I remember there's a breeze that picks up, and you could see the blades of grass moving in the wind, and I freaked out. And I remember I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, come here, look.
You gotta see
look
this
how real
shit.
this looks. Yeah, I'm like screaming. I'm like, dude, like look how real this looks. Look at the grass, it's moving. Whoa! And I mean, the graphics just like blew my goddamn mind. And then that's just the graphics alone. Then you have the cool character designs of everybody. The world itself was super cool, like you guys were saying. Like it's kind of hard, like the worlds that they create in this game are like a mystery, and the whole time you're playing you're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And you're like, you're seeing like abandoned ruins, but then it's like, hey, like where's all the technology? Where's the big city? I remember being in the city a second ago. What the hell just happened? And the story's crazy. I don't know, the game was just really good. At first, when they first showed that the game was going to have voice acting, I was a little disappointed, because I'm also one of those guys that likes to rename my characters after myself. So like if I was playing Final Fantasy VIII, Squall was just named Josh, and I used to get a kick out of that. But a few seconds into playing the game and just seeing how much more better it was with actual voices, I was like, okay, I could get over that. I still love that the game was turn-based, because I love turn-based RPGs. And they brought some new ideas into turn-based too. They tried to freshen it up, kind of make it more modern, and I think they did a good job of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really feels like they took a lot of like the old formulas of turn-based combats and things like that, and then they just put it on this brand new console. And they're like, this is it perfected. We cannot make it better than this.
Yeah.
Until Claire.
For sure.
But,
and I think that's why, like after 10, I think Square Enix, / Squaresoft, like I think they're like, okay, we kind of done all that we could with turn-based. It's time for us to try something else.
Yeah.
Like I feel like this was like 10 represents them making the best turn-based RPG that they could. But yeah, God, and like the character designs are just so damn cool. They're so different and unique.
Goth witch mommy.
Dude, fucking Lulu. I had the big old crush on Lulu, man.
Everyone did, dude.
Yeah, I'm like, who didn't though?
The cosplaying at the anime conventions for Lulu was always great. It was either like terrifyingly awful or dream-inducing, is like one of the two.
Yeah.
This game does feel like the last like true perfect like Final Fantasy that feels like Final Fantasy. No shade on like the other games, like they're fine, but they don't feel the same as like everything from 10 and before. And I think part of that is like the turn-based
design. Yeah.
No, that's 100% it. And I think also too, I think 10 was like the last time that Square Soft had like, you know, the most not influence, but they had the most control over their games at with like 10, or at least that was like the last of it before Enix came in and kind of like.
The merger was 2003, so that was like pre Kingdom Hearts 2, but post Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you're right.
This guy is.
Oh, yeah, this guy's terrible.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some of the other things you got to talk about, like it's got one of the absolute best soundtracks of all time.
Oh yeah.
Fucking A, just so many tracks that are just they're just perfect. They like there's the track when you're like just leaving the first island, and it's so tranquil and it's perfect for like the idea of like we're setting off on a new adventure, you know. And then there's like this song called Wandering Flame that they play. Like there's a couple instances where like really fucking horrible shit happens, and like you're just kind of left in the aftermath of like all this death and destruction, and it's playing like this fucking like the most somber music ever. It's like using like non-standard instruments. Like I remember like it's like an oboe in that song or something like that really just underscores everything. Yeah, it's just amazing, dude. God, like just really selling like how strong like a good OST makes a game, and how Square it's not Sakaguchi, I forget, Chris will know, the fucking composer.
Nobuo Uematsu?
Oh, Nobuo Uematsu, yeah, just at the top of his game, just spinning out bangers.
This was
left and right.
around the era where they were doing the Final Fantasy Live, where they were doing concerts where they would play Final Fantasy music, like with a live orchestra.
No, this was like right before.
No, it was definitely after this, because this game came out
after. My bad.
Yeah.
I meant after. Yeah.
And they played some of this. I went to one at the Hollywood Bowl in LA, and it was really cool. I did another one in San Diego also, and they played different music at each one, so it was pretty awesome. They have like the LA Philharmonic playing orchestrated Final Fantasy music, which is, at the time, that was like, oh my god, my nerd world is entering the real world.
Yeah.
Now that's like, oh, it's whatever, but you know, at the time that felt like a much bigger deal. It's like playing Final Fantasy, well, playing video games in general was like still kind of not cool, but like the Final Fantasy in particular was, oh, you play Final Fantasy, cool, so you have no friends and you hang out in the math building. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like one of those things.
And you're like, yeah, so what?
Yeah. Final Fantasy is like one of those series is like you were defined by if you played it or didn't play it. Like, you know, if you did play them, you like played like fucking all of them, and you like, you know, you had a very certain style that you liked and everything like that. And then if you didn't play them, you're like, who are these fucking weirdos with all these like, why are they obsessed with this game? It's like, oh, just take a hit, bro. You'll understand.
It's like we all have our own favorite Final Fantasy, right?
Yeah.
So my favorite one's coming up on this list. So
yeah. So I have a lot of Final Fantasies that are in my top 50. I think I got made fun of for that, but it's true. but I really do feel like more in the objective sense, like this game has the best story out of all of them. Like, how do you guys feel about that statement?
That's hard. I think you might be correct in that I think it's the one that feels the most cohesive.
Mm-hmm.
The story in 7, there's some parts where you're like, how did we get to this again?
Yeah.
9 is a little out there. 8 makes all the sense in the world and is fantastic until after disc 2. And then it's like, forget all of that. We're going to just do something really weird. You don't need to know the story. Just blow stuff up.
Mm.
But this one, yeah, I think this one kind of had everything kind of cohesively put together.
Yeah.
It like hit all the good parts of the last 3 before it and kind of made it work in a way that was like kind of surprising. I have like 3 on my list too, or 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 on my list. So I get it.
Yeah, as much as I love 9, I feel like the story in 10 is like more fleshed out. You know, it feels like it has like a true purpose. Like, you know, you're playing the game for a purpose.
Yeah, and there's never that moment where it's like, what the fuck? What happened? Cloud has amnesia? What is he? He's a puppet, huh? Like, you never have that in this one. It feels like
Final Fantasy 8 and the orphanage, like,
oh yeah,
it's
dude,
so weird,
amazing. But yeah, it's just so well put together, and just like one of the most heartfelt endings too. Which we won't spoil here, but just you gotta play through it. Amazing game. In the interest of time, though, we should probably move on. I don't think.
Also, I will say this: you know, until 13 came out, 10 was the only one that got a sequel.
Yeah, there you go.
That's true.
All right, Chris is so excited. I can tell to talk about Super Mario Odyssey. Oh my god!
Game of the millennia.
Yeah, released by Nintendo in 2017 with a Metacritic score of 97. 97. Probably and almost definitely on multiple lists for greatest game of all time. No confirmation though. So this is on my list. I don't know who else's list is on.
Mine,
I guess.
Yeah. Mine for sure.
Yeah. I assume if I played it, it probably would have been on my list, but I just never got around to it.
Yeah, you definitely gotta play it, man.
Yeah, I'll add it to my list. I'm doing a Dark Souls replay right now, so maybe after.
They actually have a free update for Switch 2. So Chris, not
higher
playing it. Yeah, the frame rate's like a lock solid 60 now, and I think it runs at native 4K. But it looks really nice and it's free.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't have a lot to say with like Mario games because I'm just like, oh yeah, they're good. It's really good. Yeah, it's really good. And this one is just like kind of more of the same for me. It's like, yeah, it's really good. Mario, it's really inventive. It's a lot of fun. Something new to do every 4 seconds. Like, you know, I'm gonna get this thing, and then I'm gonna go over here, do this instead, and do this instead. Lots of fun worlds, a ton of content if you like to 100% everything, and then like, you know, there's the super good challenges at the end. And I picked the clip from the world with like the best music in the entire game in it, where it's like fucking like old surf music and shit. It's great.
This isn't Donk City.
that is actually the best, yeah. But it has to be the song with the lyrics.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, does anyone have things to say? Because like I said, it's a good game.
I'll kick it off. Admittedly, I don't really play Mario games. Not since Super Nintendo. You know, I was a PlayStation kid, so I never had a 64. Never played Mario 64, even to this day. And from that point on, once the PS1 came out, I felt like I was too old to play Mario games, so I never touched them. You know, fast forward a million years later, the Switch comes out. I grabbed me a Switch, and I was at Walmart one day, or maybe Target, and they had Odyssey on sale for a pretty good deal, like $40. And I'm like, you know what? I'm in the mood to play just like a solid platformer. Haven't played Mario since I was a kid. I'll buy it. So I bought it with no expectations. I didn't look into it. I had no idea what this game was even about. And within hours, I was like blown away. Like just how tight the game feels. The way it looks, the art direction, the color was so refreshing for a Mario game, at least to me. And it was just fun. It was difficult enough to keep your brain active and awake. I love just exploring the levels. I love trying to get somewhere where I know I'm not supposed to get to, but kind of creating a challenge for myself to get to the top of a hill or a mountain or something. The level designs are really well done. I love all the little themes of all the worlds, and I totally saw what they were trying to go for, what vibe they're trying to capture. The use of the hat, so fucking smart. Like I just like how it's like, hey, you're here, you need to go there, figure it out, and that's all it is. It doesn't walk you by the hand or anything. It's just they leave it up to your gamer skill to get to where you need to go. And it was just so damn fun. I was hooked on this game, and I just blasted through it like nonstop. Like anytime I had free time, I was just playing this game. And the only shitty thing about this game was that once I beat it, I wanted more, and I've been wanting more since. And all I want is my fucking Odyssey 2. That's it. That's all I want.
It's coming out. It's called Donkey Kong Bonanza.
I know. Yeah. I know. Yeah, I'm gonna get that. But God, this game was so good, and it just blew me away. Like I was so impressed.
Yeah, you touched on like the movement there. Like, yeah, like this game is peak Mario movement. There's never been anything as good as this. I mean, it is the latest entry into like the 3D series, platforming series, so it makes sense. But just the whole thing where you can throw the hat, jump, dive on it, get a boost up, and then throw it again just to stop time and do another dive. I'll do these backflips into that. It was like, there's so much freedom of movement. And like it's like I love 64 and all that and like Galaxy, but it's like I can jump or running jump or backflip. This one I've got like so much more options.
No, this game rewards you for being good with the controller. Like you don't have to be good with the controller to play this game and beat it, but if you are good with the controller, it fucking rewards you, and I like that. And just the way he feels, like the weight to Mario in this game, like the way his weight moves around, like when you jump and how you land or when you run, and I don't know, everything about it just felt right. It felt good. And then also too, kind of going back to like the art direction of the game, I love how it feels. To me, it feels like Nintendo just got a group of artists, put them in a room, and said, "Go nuts."
Yep.
And they fucking did. Every world, I just love the theme to every world in this game. So good.
Is that cheese?
Yes, you're in the luncheon kingdom.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like it's one of those games where it's just pure joy the entire time. Like you're just it's only fun. If you're not having fun, you're not playing the game.
Dude, I was smiling the whole time I was playing it. Like it's so good.
Yeah. That's what I think Nintendo nails really well on a lot of their games. It's just the pure joy of playing video games. They don't forget that's what video games are, meant for, is to have fun, mostly.
Yeah.
No, it makes you feel like a kid again when you're playing these games.
Yeah, and my little boy fell in love with this game when he was 4 and played the hell out of it. He just recently, like a month or two ago, finally beat like the most difficult part of it. I guess it was like the final level or whatever, and he like finally beat it. It literally took him like months to beat it, but he did.
I should probably see if Colin would play it, because Colin has played and beaten Forgotten World, the Kirby one, and he loves that game. So, I mean, if this is like doable in that sense, and I think he would.
It's very accessible, yeah.
Where's that Chris Rivera controversial opinions, man? I need to hear why this isn't that great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to spend a bunch of time shitting on the game, because ultimately
you don't want to yuck yums.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it's, in the grand scheme of things, I still think it's a great game, right? I think it's like a solid 8 out of 10 kind of game. I think the highs are very high, like people mentioned. The character movement and control, especially for a 3D Mario, is pretty much the best. And that it's got a simple complexity to it. It doesn't try to do too much, but it's one of those games that kind of meanders a lot. Like I said, the highs are very high. Like the really cool shit. You know, like the first time this part right here when you go on the 2D platforming, Donkey Kong recreation in New Donk City, I was like, oh, this is fucking great. But then also like 75% of the game is, you know, looking at the sky and seeing a ship floating in the air and getting a moon, you know.
I like, you know, there's like a parallel of like, you know, the reason why the first Mario Brothers game took off and was so good is really just nailed down to like they figured out momentum on the Nintendo. Like they figured out how you press and hold that jump button. You press it a little shorter and you go a little shorter, a little longer, you go a little longer, you know, how it feels good to run fast and get that, you know, make those jumps. And like with how perfect the movement is in this game, it is almost like this like kind of celebration or this reinvention of that. Where it's like, yeah, like this game is not crazy 3D. You know, they were working in the limitations of the Switch, and so you know everything's like, you know, it's not a huge open world. It's like little sections that are walled off or loaded into and things like that. And they're not like changing the game as far as like, you know, new design features and huge spectacle or anything like that. But like just Nintendo classic. Like whatever they do it fucking perfectly. Yeah. All right. Anyone else want to throw anything out about good old Mario? All right. Let's see how much time we got left, but that is Mario Odyssey. All right. Next game. All right, Josh, it's your turn. Oh, and Jose too. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh man.
Released by Rockstar in 2018. Metacritic of 97, tied with Super Mario Odyssey. As I have come to find out, it is on some lists of the greatest games of all time. Tell me about this game that I quit because I couldn't be bothered to do chores around the campsite.
Oh, you got to do chores, man. So yeah, I'll start off if you don't mind, Josh. This, you know, everyone has mostly played the first game. That's kind of like a universally loved game, and this one sequel somehow they did it better. A lot of the big complaint is, well, this game doesn't respect your time because it's so freaking huge. And there's so much to do as far as like, it's a weird game in the sense that like if you play it just like any other Rockstar game, just mission to mission to mission, it's not much different than all of any other of them. Aside from the story, obviously, and the story is really great. But you know, there's not a whole difference in the gameplay. You know, it's just shooting, writing, that kind of stuff. But what this game really nails is, you know, I always when I describe it to people, I like to describe it as living in one of the best Western novels you've ever read. Like if you can take the time to play it the way kind of Rockstar wants you to play it, which is like taking your time, getting to know, you know, all the outlaws, doing everybody's side quest, you know, everybody's individual thing, getting to know everybody's story, hanging out at the camp when you're really not really rewarded for other than just like a cool little cutscene of them singing along. It just really brings you into this world. Not to mention, you know, Arthur is one of probably, you know, top 5 video game characters of all time. He's just such a cool character and so like tragic, so almost relatable in a sense. You know, and just being in that Western world is just great. It's just so fun. I've beaten it multiple times, and it's this huge, you know, 70, 80 hour campaign. You know, if you do, you know, just kind of even the minimal stuff. And I've gone through it multiple times. Gone through it evil, gone through it good, gone through it in between. It's just
Gay,
it's fun
straight.
every single time. Gay, straight.
Yeah. The gay playthrough is my favorite.
Yeah,
Gay Jose.
That's what I heard. But yeah, it's a phenomenal game, man. I mean, I hate to use that word again, but it really is. It's just such a cool game.
Yeah. if I use the term one of the best games ever, I use that term in two different ways. One of them is for a game that I feel personally is one of the best games ever, and then the other way is undisputedly one of the best games ever, and best games ever. And Red Dead Redemption 2, when I say it's one of the best games ever, I mean like undisputedly, like across the board. Anyone that plays it should understand why it's one of the best games ever. It's God, they put. You could just tell by playing the game that Rockstar put so much time into creating this world, to flesh it out, to make it feel real. You could play this game without actually having to play the story. Just being in the world is enough. Like when I was playing it, I stopped following the story because I moved out to the mountain where I found an abandoned cabin. I was just out there hunting bears and just living with me and my horse, exploring the forest. And you could just do that for hours and hours and hours, and it's fun. Or you could go up to the mountains and like, hey, you found like a weird fort holdout up in the mountains in the snow. Try to see if you could like infiltrate it. It's going to be hard. I'm pretty sure Rockstar said things you're not supposed to, but try to do it. There's no rules. I guess that's the thing about this game. There's no rules. You're literally just dropped into a world, a beautifully created world, and it's like, do whatever you want, whatever your imagination allows you to do.
Can I interrupt real quick and ask you a question? Would you say that like what you said about the cabin sounds really interesting to me. So like, would you say like the depth of like how much detail they put into everything is like they put in so many systems into the game that it enables you to, what is that called, like self-emergent gameplay or something like that, where it's like you found a new way to play and it works because they put an abandoned thing there that you can move into, and you can have a dog, and you can go hunting and just live that way and explore forest. It's like it's purposefully done.
Yeah, well, and it helps too that in the game you have to eat, you have to sleep. So now you have a challenge. You have something to do every day, which ironically enough is what you're supposed to be doing in your own real life. You're supposed to eat, you're supposed to sleep, you're supposed to take care of yourself. You see your beard grow longer. You see your guy get dirtier because you're not really showering anymore because you're out in the woods. You got to feed your horse. Your horse is getting dirty, so you got to go like look for like vegetables or fruits out in the forest to feed your horse, and you brush your horse, and like again
The whole
they
pace changes.
Rockstar did such a good job romanticizing the Wild West, and it just makes you want to be in there, especially since nowadays everything's so modern and we're so removed from this era in human history that it's kind of nice to actually get to go there and experience a little bit of it without worrying of like getting shot in real life and dying or dying from diarrhea. Like it's a safe way to explore an era that we'll never actually get to explore again in human history.
And you can still die from diarrhea, though.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, feed an Arby's, sure.
The Arby's part of Red Dead 2 was my favorite.
It's the final boss.
Shooting roast beef.
I was playing this a couple weeks ago just because I always do, and I still play this game even today. I like it so much. But I just cruise around, go to the nearest town, and I'll go have a couple of shots, have a meal there, play some cards, go around, shoot people, and it's just fun. It's just cool to do.
Do you shoot the people that beat you in cards?
If I lose, I start shooting.
Dude, no, it's funny because I do the same thing. Like I said, like I'm like when I was living in the cabin in the forest, I'd be out there. I notice my guy looks dirty, his beard's getting long, and I'm like, I'm kind of lonely. I'm gonna go into town. So I load up my horse and I take the long trip. I leave early in the morning, crack of dawn. I head into town. Go. I rent a bath. I shower. Go to the barber. I get my hair cut, my beard trim. And then then I go grab dinner. I go to the movie theater. I watch a movie, and then I'm like, hey, the sun's going down. It's getting dark. I'm gonna go hit up the bar. Go to go get some drinks, talk to some people. I noticed the guy at the other end of the bar is looking at me kind of funny, so I kind of talk shit to him. He pushes me, and then we start fighting. I end up killing him. It's like it's fucking cool. Then then you ride back to your cabin all bloody and shit, but happy because you're drunk and you just beat the shit out of somebody. Like that's Red Dead Redemption 2. It's hella fun, and you could just do that. You don't have to follow the story because the world's so fleshed out. Like see, right on the video, there's a carriage. Like what I would do for fun is I'd go and I'd steal the carriage, and there's a guy. I forgot what part. There's a little like a little farm next to a train station, and there's a guy inside of a barn that would buy these trailers off of you. So for fun, I would steal fancy trailers and then try to get it to him in one piece. You know, to
Josh,
get
the trailer thief.
It's fun, or carriage, I guess.
Yeah.
But little shit like that's fun.
Yeah. That's really cool. That's the best case I've heard for me to pick that game back up is like, you know, just the whole
Committing Grand Theft Auto.
Well, I mean, because when I played through it, it was like, you know, all right, everything's slow and prodding. Let's do this. All right, go just drop the sacks of flour at the campsite and blah, blah, blah. But it's like really like it's just you got to I should have given it more time, let it open up to the point where it's like, okay, I want because all that shit that Josh is doing sounds great, man. I want to just go down to the bar and just go fight a person or two, and or like get my own cabin and like you know be a professional bear hunter or some shit. Like that sounds really cool.
It does take a while. It takes a while for you to get there. It takes once you get past that snow part, right, Josh? That's when that's when you can kind of just say fuck it, and I'm just going to go anywhere I want.
The tutorial section.
Yeah, the map open. And keep in mind too, when you first play the game, a lot of the map is locked up. So for me, once I started doing that, it was at the part where like I unlocked most of the map. Pretty much once it's right before you start going to like what they would consider like the south, you know, in the game. Right before you unlock that part, that's when you can really start like just stop following the story and kind of just find a nice little area on the map and start living there. And there's so many little side quests. There's all these little mysteries that pop up, and you know you'll be walking through a wooded area and you'll find like some old like Native American ruins, and you're like, what the hell is this about? You know, just like cool little things you could just explore everywhere. They put so much into this game.
Did you do the vampire side quest, or did you find the vampire?
Yes, I did. Yep. Yeah,
I can never get that side quest to pop out. I've always seen it, but I've never got it to pop out for me.
I forgot what I had to do, but yeah, I ended up triggering it, and it was super cool. Admittedly, I had to like once I triggered it, I had to like look up online like what you're supposed to do because I couldn't figure it out. Yeah, game's just fun. Like, you know, you're just riding your horse, and when I first played it, you know, having came from Grand Theft Auto and other big world games where you could get across the map within seconds. When I first started playing this, it did kind of annoy me how slow you move. Like, oh my god, these horses are so slow. Give me a Lamborghini. I want to fucking get where I want to go really quickly. Yeah, but then it doesn't take long to like to start you actually start liking going slower because you get to appreciate everything. You get to like look around and appreciate the world. You get to notice little details and stuff. And there's times where even I want to even run my horse. I'll just let him walk slowly and just enjoy the pace, you know. And then there'll be like people coming across or walking towards you on their horse, and you know you tip your hat, howdy, hey, good morning, partner, you know, and like little things like that. Or sometimes, you know, you'll say, hey there, that's a mighty fine horse you got, and then the guy on the horse like, leave me alone. And you go, what did you say, you son of a bitch? And you start shooting him. Like, then you take his horse, you know, like because it is a nice horse. And then what's cool too is like when you steal horses, you could tie them up to your horse, and you could just have like a trailer of horses and shit. Like, it's just fun stuff, man.
Dope.
Like right there in that water, I guarantee you there's an alligator. So if you want, you could like you could punch that guy, you tie him up. You know, his hands and feet, you tie him up with rope, and then you can feed him to an alligator, and it's the coolest shit ever. I used to do that too. I used to love feeding alligators.
You're just an alligator keeper. I guess he knew alligators.
He's Steve Irwin.
Oh man. Dope.
Yeah.
All right. Well, does anyone have anything else they want to add on about this wonderful game?
It's a masterpiece. It's literally a work of art. It belongs in a museum.
Agreed. All right. Well, cool beans. That is Red Dead Redemption 2. Now we are at 9:30. Is this a good drop-off point for us, or should we keep going?
We have some bangers left.
Got some bangers left? Let's go, baby. Let's go.
I mean, yep.
Cool. Well, let's go. Final Fantasy IX, our next one.
No,
we
it's a
go.
fucking video game. God damn it.
That's a fucking video game. All right, let's see. Final Fantasy IX released by SquareSoft in, what did I put? 2001. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 2000.
Yeah.
Yep. And Metacritic score of 94. Something, the best of all time. Who wants to talk about Final Fantasy IX and give Josh a break before his voice
All
goes
day
out?
long.
Well, it's got to be.
Game
Josh,
sucks.
Right?
I love
This
this
is,
game.
this is the first number one I think that we've covered, right?
This is number one?
Oh yeah.
Somebody's number one.
Oh, we're
My
not supposed to
number
talk about this. What? We're supposed to talk number ones later. What happened?
Yeah, if it's a number
whatever.
one, you gotta add it to the other list.
Yeah, dude, because
Yeah,
that's
we can push
lead
that.
over here.
Push it over there.
Yeah,
That's a guaranteed
okay.
on the finals list.
Look at
Yeah,
Justin, dude.
I mean,
so fucking,
it's a little
dude,
bit of
this
blue
guy's so
balls,
blue
but
balled right
I'd be
now.
happy to. It's okay.
Okay, so then should we?
I
Should we
can
actually-
have some delayed gratification. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that because we got some other stuff to move on to, and yeah,
Damn.
yeah, I guess that was just a Claire on my part. Oh, well, not perfect. You would have known, but that's okay because we can talk about Resident Evil 4, also released by SquareSoft.
Oh yeah, this is also worthwhile. Yeah.
Capcom. This is where I stopped taking notes on everything. Released by Capcom during a year. Best game of all time. The Nintendo GameCube. Leon S. Kennedy.
Hey, get this bullshit footage off
This
the
is in
screen.
my
This
top 10.
trash PS2 version. Fucking footage.
This is a PS2 version?
Get this shit. Yeah, it's a PS2 version emulated.
I like.
Yes, it's a square.
Oh, yeah, see, look at that square.
That piece of shit.
Oh, sorry. All right, there we go. Just no.
Now that's
wanted-
a fucking video
Yeah.
game, guys.
There we go.
You can. All right. I
No,
want
that's pod racing.
this part.
It's pod racing.
There you go.
There you go.
Gotta have that shit.
Giant
Alright.
button.
Who's got this in their list? I'm trying to remember if I do.
It's number
Everybody
9 on
Sure, I
mine.
do.
Let's see. Cray.
Yeah, it's number 12 for me.
I don't remember, but I got the footage going, so I don't want to put too
It's
long.
on yours. You are number 16 on your list.
I put this at number 16. That's pretty high.
Yeah. But Resident Evil 2.
Oof. I put it above Resident Evil 2. That's crazy. So anyone want to start? Chris, who put this on your list too?
Yeah, put this on the list. It's a double Chris game?
Sounds like it, man. We can fucking double penetrate RE4.
Tag team. Go for it.
Chris G. Okay, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I mean, this game, very interesting history. I touched upon it a little bit when I talked about Resident Evil 1 and how it was a huge deal when Capcom came out. And early on with the GameCube, they announced all these exclusives. And Resident Evil 4 was kind of the cherry on top. I want to say Resident Evil 4 was, what was it? Mid-2005, Craig, release date? Fact check?
Let me check on my other
It
screen.
was something like that. But it was a very late GameCube release. I remember I was at the
2005.
JC. Yeah, I was in the JC when it came out, and there were different iterations of this game in development throughout time. You can go and you could see on YouTube the original trailer that showed Resident Evil 4, and none of that ended up in the actual released game. And then even between that, there was this other version that was completely third person and had the hook man and all that shit. Might be some good footage to bring up actually, but
Which part?
the other versions of Resident Evil 4 that didn't come out.
Yeah, the canceled version.
Yeah. So there's
Like
the
I'm looking at a screenshot on Wikipedia of like a hook man.
yeah, the hook man, dude. But it actually looked pretty cool, but you can understand why they didn't go this direction because this essentially just looks like maybe just the slight evolution of Code Veronica, right? Still third person for the most part, but it has 3D backgrounds and a dynamic camera like Code Veronica did. And to be honest, if they released this game, I probably would have loved it. But the beauty of Resident Evil 4 is that it took that standard, because right here you can see that they implemented the over-the-shoulder aiming, right, which ended up becoming the standout feature and the differentiator of Resident Evil 4 from other survival horror games at the time. But yeah, that was the big evolution for Resident Evil 4 is that Instead of going for fixed camera angles like you see here, the entire game was a third person behind the shoulder. You hold down a trigger to aim down your sights or to look at your laser, and then you press the other button to shoot. And it ended up being one of the most influential games of all time. People like Cliff Bleszinski and other guys at Epic talk about how Gears of War was directly influenced by Resident Evil 4, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
And it's just kind of ironic because eventually Resident Evil 6 ended up being influenced by Gears of War. It became like this kind of closed loop, right? But anyways, it was just such a fresh take. Resident Evil 4 was at the series at the time because you had 1, 2, 3, 4, and Code Veronica released between 1996 and 1999, no, 2000, right? So you had a lot of games using the same basic formula, pretty close together. And then Resident Evil 4 comes and just goes, oh yeah, we're throwing all that shit out the window. We're bringing in Leon because everyone fucking loves Leon. And here's the best game of the generation right before the Xbox 360 comes out.
We gotta get the fish, man. Yeah.
Yeah, the fish.
Yeah,
this was
game
such
is
a. This part was so
difficult.
fun. This was like so stressful the first time I played it.
I'm trying to remember if this was in the demo or not, or if the demo was just the
so
village.
the demo was just the very beginning, and then it ended when the bell rang and Leon made the fucking bingo joke.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember playing the demo at it was EB Games upstairs in the mall, and like I remember running up to the to a little hoppable fence, and it was like press A to hop. I'm like, what? I can hop, and I like hopped the fence, and I hopped through a window, and I barricaded the door, and I jumped out the window. I was like, oh my god, this is fucking amazing! And it was like, it's like
where you shot them determined how many shots it took, or like that you could blow up their head. I was like, oh my god, I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of had before, but not in this way. It wasn't done as well.
Yep, you're able to
strategically
decide, okay, I'm going to shoot this one in the leg to hobble them, and then I'm going to shoot him in the head, and you get very logical reactions based on where you shoot them.
And then they completely fuck with you and start having shit coming out of their brain instead at the like halfway point. You're like, do I really want to do a headshot and then have to deal with that thing?
So here's the only part of the game that isn't good.
Playing as Ashley.
It's short though.
I want to find the regenerators. Like that shit was fucking scary, dude. Back in the day.
That's a scary part.
Oh, in the freezer.
All right, I don't know where it is.
It's in this. Yeah. It's coming up.
Was it after?
No, it's a little bit before this.
Oh, it's before?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I just wanted to go to the preview. Yeah,
GOAT.
Talk so much shit to Dino about this game. Fucking like he just didn't want to play it because like the villagers weren't zombies and they were fucking bug guys or whatever instead.
Leon goes to Europe.
Yeah, I still got that. I gotta bust that out for the history. Yeah, I can't find it and I'm not gonna keep looking.
I had a friend that was, not only did he not want to play this game because it wasn't Resident Evil enough for him, but he was super butthurt that it was a GameCube exclusive.
Remember caring that much. There it is. There you go. Let's see how this shows up on camera. This is Leon Goes to Europe. Circa Dino in 2005.
Not Resident Evil.
There's a new hero thing on the back for it and everything. It's all backwards, so I'll read it off. Resident Evil sells itself out as the series moves in a terrifying direction. U.S. agent Leon Kennedy is asked to go jack off in Europe and save the president's daughter, parentheses Woot, as Leon encounters unimaginable horrors, parentheses, oh my god, not zombies. You can get this at your store today.
That's fantastic.
20 years ago. And it survived. Oh man.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I mean,
Yeah.
he wasn't wrong though.
Yeah.
For Resident Evil game, it didn't really at the time. It didn't feel like a Resident Evil game.
Yeah, a lot of people complained about that, but when you look at like the history of it, like they were just Resident Evil was doing really poorly. Like after 2 and I think 3 did okay, but like Code Veronica bombed. And
Well, it's not that it was doing poorly. It was that 3 was a huge hit. Code Veronica released on a system with a lower install base. And then 3 wasn't the mega hit that they expected.
Remake?
So it was like,
you said 3 in the beginning, so you meant 2.
No, yeah. So like 2 was huge. 3 was, not huge. Code Veronica, also not huge because like barely anyone had a Dreamcast. And then it was kind of similar with like Remake because it was pretty early with the GameCube. So it was like, all right,
It didn't sell
you guys need to
well.
make us some money now.
Yeah. And all that prompted them to make this more action-oriented game.
The replayability on this game is also fantastic too.
It's a virtue.
Absurd, dude. It's a virtue. It's a very virtuous game. But yeah, going through it and like, you can do all these different types of runs, do these different weapons, do a new game plus, make it harder. I remember one of the things I learned was that like the game has like that assisted difficulty, and it was like one of the first games I remember having it where it was like the game would get harder if you did better.
Yeah, it's an adaptive difficulty. Yeah,
I didn't realize that until years later. Either I was just like, man, this game is getting really tough.
Well, the thing is they did it so well that most people didn't know it was a thing until there was an interview. I think it was with Shinji Mikami.
Yeah,
where
that's when I found out.
It was like years later, and people were like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
and like people had that camera rotating around them moment where they realize it, like, "Oh fuck!" Now it all makes sense.
Well, it's like then I've seen where people will do playthroughs to intentionally play worse to make the harder parts of the game easier.
Yeah, like speedrunners.
It's like people do that for Mario Kart, Mario Kart World, because the way that the racers drive will be better if you're better. So they'll intentionally tank the race until like the last lap so that they can get a bunch of great items and beat the game. Yeah. I mean, I would have never thought to do any of that shit when this was out. I just thought that this was a cool way to do Resident Evil. I'm not as big a fan of the tank controls on the original Resident Evils. Like, I understand why, like, it's important for the camera angles and the suspense and all that, but it is a clunky way to play a game, and this felt really, really intuitive for me. And I think having to stop walking to shoot, although annoying at first, actually, it's like a built-in feature, not a problem.
Yeah, they fully take
you have to stop and think.
Yeah, and it makes it more suspenseful because it's like, okay, I have to be very deliberate with my shots.
Yeah, I remember the game coming out, and I wasn't into it because I wanted those old school zombies, and then I played that demo, and I'm like, nope, this game's amazing. Fuck. It's just perfect gameplay, extremely fun, lots of replay value, just how I like it. I remember this was like, I remember being a kid, beating the game, and then it was the first game I had ever like rolled credits, and I'm like, all right, we go again, and then we just immediately new game. And like, I could not get enough of this. There's like really killer mercenary mode too, which I fucking wish Capcom would start putting back in the games.
Yeah, the modern mercenaries is just not the same, dude.
Yeah,
it doesn't have that like potential infinite round, super suspenseful. Like, oh, okay, just let me get like another, another like time extension, and it doesn't have the risk reward that Resident Evil 4 Mercenaries had. So, I mean, just that alone, I played that mode so fucking much, man. Kind of like you, I did the same thing. When I beat this game, I immediately started another game. And, as other people mentioned, there's all these different unlockables, right? you get like Chicago gangster outfit
Yeah.
Leon, and you get the Chicago typewriter, and there's just so much fucking shit, dude. And that mercenary mode, I think there's only maybe 4 or 5 maps, but they were so
Yeah.
replayable, man, because
Yep.
you would just change up your tactics and just find ways to squeeze to just like a few more points out. Being like a broke 18-year-old when this game came out, like that alone was, the virtue territory that we often have talked about through the years.
Yeah, man. It really is one of those games. It's like, I feel like you talk about it and it's like kind of just like lip service, or it's like generic things. Like, it plays really well. It feels good. It is fun. But, you got to get your hands on it. You got to feel how it all comes together. You got to get that headshot, make him stumble, kick 3 guys, run into a thing, dive over a window, throw a grenade, upgrade your weapons, do all that stuff. And just like while you're solving these like puzzles and stuff. And
it also feels good when you start kind of cheesing the game too. Like, it actually feels rewarding.
Mhm.
Like, where you start doing something where like you'll shoot the guy in the legs so he'll drop, and then you start destroying him with your knife, like to save ammo, and you start figuring out how you can like kick people off of ledges. Like, you lure them into a spot so that you can kick them off something. This boss like stressed me the fuck out the first time I fought him too.
Yeah. Yeah, these dudes are fucking nutty. They're like, it's even worse in the remake if you haven't played that. Like,
No,
there's
I
like,
haven't.
yeah, there's rooms where they throw like 2 of them at you, and like one of them's like fully armored, can't be hurt at all. Like, it's fucking stupid. Oh man.
What I
Yeah.
love is that we've talked all this time about Resident Evil 4, and not one of us have mentioned that when this game came out, in terms of
Chainsaw
visuals,
controller?
well, that too. But in terms of visuals, this was like, I just remember the visuals being so mind blowing in this game, and it was just one of those examples of
Yeah.
when developers knew the hardware really well. Whether it was GameCube, PS2, Xbox, like you could see them pushing it in different ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, like Halo 2 on Xbox, or this game, or Metal Gear Solid 3 on PS2. It was getting to that point late in the generation where the developers were really being able to squeeze like every like last piece of power out of these consoles, and Resident Evil 4 was just mind blowing graphically, but um, it's just great because the greatness of the game is in the gameplay.
This
and all
room
the
here.
Oh yeah,
Sure, this
just
game.
classic moments, man, just nonstop. But yeah, I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that when this game came out, it was probably one of the top 5 best looking console games ever. But looking back on it 20 years later, it's just a bunch of us talking about how dope the gameplay is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bridge the gap.
I do
Yeah,
remember too thinking that like because the GameCube was one of those things where it really should have performed a lot better than it did, because the games on it were just beautiful. Like, they all look so good. And like this game, I mean, the best version of this game at the time was on the GameCube.
Yeah.
It wasn't
I
a PlayStation or
I touched the
anything else.
PS2 port one time, and I heard like the decreased quality of sound, and I was like, "Oh, fuck this! I don't know. Get this away from me." Yeah, this was the room though that made me realize about the adaptive difficulty, because I came in here with the fully upgraded shotgun that held 100 shells, and I ran out of ammo before I killed everything. I was like, "This is fucking crazy." Yeah. Massive game. Just wish, it had zombies, because then Dino could like it.
I will say if I had to make one complaint, and it's just because of the way that I play games, I wish that the game was longer.
It's pretty long, dude.
I know.
Yeah, I think it's solid, like,
it's like
20.
I enjoyed the game a lot. So like when it
Just want
ended,
more.
I was like, well, shit. I mean, cool, I get to do a replay with all the fun toys, but also, man, that sucks. Like, Journey's over.
Yeah.
I do want to give a quick shout out to the merchant guy, the fucking what are you
What are you
buying?
buying?
Best cosplays with those guys.
Dude.
Guy's a fucking legend.
Dude, we were talking. Me and Jose were talking. Like, so his wife Rosie, she is like that kind of mom that every mom knows. She has fully prepared. Like, she's got a backpack. She's got the band-aids in it. She's got the water in it. She's got all this stuff. Anything you can think of. She's like, nope, I got it on me. And so we were telling her, it's like, all right, for Halloween, you got to get a big trench coat. And then you got to put all that like kid supplies inside the trench coat, and then she'll just be like the mom version of the fucking
What are
Resident
you
Evil 4 merchant.
buying?
What are you selling?
She's gonna do it too. I think she's pretty convinced that she's gonna do it.
Has she played it
He's
yet?
fucking
This
sick.
game?
She's watched me play. She won't play it herself,
Oh,
but
okay.
she's watched me play both versions.
Yeah, and we probably should mention, like, the remake. I have that one listed separately in mine, but the remake is a better game. It is fucking
You like that game?
shocking. Huh? Yeah, like I remember making fun of Dino. I mean, we all have this in recent memory, but for the long-term memory, in the video, I remember making fun of Dino because he beat it like 4 or 5 times. I'm like, Dino, it's fine. You beat it. You move on, man. You don't have to play the same game over and over. And then I beat it, and then I beat it 8 more times. I'm like, holy shit. But it was really just incredible. Like, there's a lot of games where like, it's like, I don't want to touch that Chrono Trigger remake. I'm not sure. Like, it kind of sounds good, but I don't trust you not to fuck it up. But like that game, they went in there like, okay, no, like we're gonna make an 11. Just watch. And that's exactly what they did. They took everything about it. They fucking polished it up. They changed enough things to make it interesting. They added depth. They cut some content just to make it be a little more, feasible for nowadays. But then they took that content and put it in like the Ada DLC. So it's like you have everything that Resident Evil 4 has, with more and better graphics and fucking better gameplay, and it's amazing. All right.
I love that you put it on the spreadsheet as Leon goes to Europe, by the way.
Yeah, it's because that's what it's called. That way we know it's that, not the remake, right? All right, I had one more on my list we can do if you guys want to do it. Otherwise, we can call it.
Yeah, what is it?
Super Mario RPG.
Oh, shit, son.
All right, no one's saying
yes.
No. We're finishing it. This is the last one for the night. Super Mario RPG, released by Squaresoft in 1996. Metacritic score of 84. Someone once told me a story that when they were a child, they saw a top games list of all time and that this was on it. Chris, I think you got to talk about this.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so when this came out, I was just really starting to get into RPGs at the time. I hadn't really got into them that much before this, but this was the one that like really hooked me on the genre. And before this idea of this sort of like computer generated styling, it always felt kind of, I mean, to be honest, felt shitty, right? But this is the first time it looked good, it played good, in a way that made you stop noticing the fact that it was this sort of innovative style. It's like Donkey Kong Country, right? It was the same sort of like 3D looking, but it was all side scrolling. This was, you're seeing your character from every angle. But the story for this is actually really good. And there's all kinds of little fun side activities you can do. A lot of funny jokes that the writers put in there that I was not expecting. The stuff with Booster, the castle, and the wedding is still really funny to watch now.
I think I'd found out. I think isn't Booster a character from he's in Final Fantasy IV, right? That's like Sid or something.
Is he?
I don't think it's Sid. I think he's the Dwarf King or something like that. But I remember I just did that Pixel Remaster playthrough, and I was like, oh shit, it's Booster.
Says only appears in Super Mario RPG.
Yeah. I'll look it up on the side, but you keep talking about the game.
I actually really liked I know everybody loves Gino, and he's cool, but I actually really liked having Bowser in my party. That was sort of like the first time you got to play as Bowser
Oh, yeah.
in a way that was like, okay, yeah, you could play as him in Mario Kart, but he wasn't that good in Mario Kart on Super Nintendo. But here he was awesome. Like, he was kick-ass. I did also like that there was, like a secret boss, with Culex. The music was really good. All the fun little mini games. The enemy variety. And the pacing for the game is done in a way where as you play along, it's really hard to overlevel too much. I mean, I guess you could just sit in the starting area and just grind for 12 hours, I guess. But it does it. The game presents itself in a way to where you don't really ever have to overlevel in order to beat anything. Like it's challenging without being brutal.
Yeah, I think yeah, here. I don't know why this is so fucking hard to find, dude. But let me do this. I remember it being pretty easy.
Culex was the part that was hard. That boss
Yeah.
was like kind of tough at the time.
So like this is you're seeing this, right? Like it's for some reason it's really hard to like pull up a picture of this, but this is what Sid looks like in Final Fantasy IV in the menus. And if that you tell me that doesn't look like Booster, like that's crazy.
It looks a little bit like Booster.
Oh
So
man.
this game, I was 13 when this came out. So I didn't have a I was a Sega Genesis kid.
Mhm.
So I played this actually at my grandparents' house, with my cousins. And so like they would play it and I would have to watch. And then I finally got a Super Nintendo after them. And the very first game that I bought was this. It was the very first thing I went out and found a copy of.
Oh yeah.
I took it home. I mean, it wasn't anything else. This was the first Super Nintendo game that I went out and bought when I got my own Super Nintendo. And then I just blasted through it from start to finish. I also, when I started doing like game emulation in the like around 2000, so at my high school we had a computer lab where we had to do typing class. So this is like maybe 99, 2000. That we could dial up and connect to the internet. The teachers had no idea how anything worked, and the IT department was about as clueless as the teachers. So we would connect to the internet and download emulators and ROMs in like 99, 2000, and I would sit there and play this game in class when I'm supposed to be learning how to type. But if you're a millennial, you could already type like 60 words a minute at like high school. So I remember it was like this and a couple other games I used to sit there and play in class when I was supposed to be, doing something else. So I think I played this game at least a dozen times, maybe more. And the version on the Switch is actually really good. I will say that the sort of combo thing that they added to it, I think detracts from the game. I think it doesn't need it personally. It's cool, but unnecessary.
I think it's more like a balancing thing. Like they didn't make the game harder, but they gave you something like another benefit on top of that. I don't remember if I used it a lot, but yeah.
Sometimes it's like I'd use it just because it was there and I was tired of looking at it.
Yeah. The remake was honestly, it was like a little, it was so strange. It was like a little it was done perfectly, but it was also a little disappointing because you get to the end game and you beat the game and then they give you extra stuff, just a little bit. Like here, we gave you like 5 bosses that are like extra super bosses now, but you can beat them really quickly. And it's like, if you had just really pushed through this could have been amazing. But you didn't. And like, so it was nice that I got an extra like half hour of content, But man, it's like you knew what I wanted, but you wouldn't really follow through with it.
Yeah, I think that part is a little. It's like you went there, you proved that you could do it. So why not just give us more of what we want? Yeah. I don't know. There's something about this game. It like kind of scratches an itch. I also remember the advertisements, the commercials on TV. It was always the mine section, and I remember thinking, this is the next generation of gaming. Watching that on TV. I mean, now it's like, whatever, but at the time, my like 13-year-old brain watching it on television was just like blown away.
Yeah, I remember I have really fond memories of me and my cousins. Like whenever we get together, they like to watch me play games. And so like I remember playing through this with them, and they were like narrate all the characters and stuff like that, and it was a lot of fun. And they weren't very good at games, so I don't think they ever beat this, so it was fun like beating it together and stuff. This is my personal favorite part because I was like obsessed with Power Rangers back in the day, and I was like, oh my god, fucking Power Rangers and Mario, and I get to fight them all. Like,
yeah,
oh
this
shit.
part was awesome. I also liked the section with the pirate ship. I really liked that. That part was really, really cool. But when I saw this for the first time, I was like, no way. And then this comes up, and I was like, is that the Megazord?
Exactly.
I mean, it kind of is, right?
And you're fighting on the giant axe, and
so you see the
Megazord face,
the helmet, yeah. I like that the Black
Ranger's got sunglasses.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember this coming out, and it was like peak SquareSoft at the top of their game, and then like also like Nintendo was just killing it with their stuff in the Super Nintendo era, and it was just like this felt like such a perfect marriage, where it was like it had all of the best parts of like a SquareSoft game and all of the best parts of like the Nintendo thing, where it's like you could see how it's like this is where Nintendo came in and said this needs to be more fun. Let's put in a jumping mini game here, and you get this treasure chest, and you get a star, and you don't even have to fight in battles. You just kill all the enemies instead, and stuff like that. Like, oh man, just really fucking fantastic design. I remember the 3D renders that they were putting out of the game. It was like so fresh at that time. Like you didn't really see that kind of stuff, like even though it was just like art, but like it really kind of reinforced this art style and the stuff, that kind of like fake 3D that they have going on in here, that Donkey Kong style you had, and it's like really just kind of lend itself to it and made this game just look and feel so fucking cool.
At the time, it felt super crisp too. I remember that specifically. Like now we're watching it on, the game is meant for a CRT, and we're watching it on not. So it's always going to fuck up the image. But I do remember specifically at the time feeling like, oh my god, this game is so, like the lines are so clean and it's so crisp. Retrospectively, it's funny because I never really understood what Gino's face looked like until the remake. I couldn't place like what his face actually looked like for real because, the way that he's sort of animated in this game.
Yeah, I always just saw a doll face with one eye and the hair covering the other one.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Does anyone else have memories of this game, or is it just me and Chris?
Yeah, I didn't play this game when it came out.
When this game came out, I rented it, and it was one of those games where I didn't beat it when I rented it, so I had to hope that when I return it and someone else rented it and they returned it, that I would get the same cartridge and someone didn't delete my save. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And
that was the worst.
Yeah, and thankfully that happened. I was able to rent the same cartridge later that had my same save on it, and I was able to finish it. Loved it. I loved the little secrets here and there, like the lazy shell, like walking off the edge of the map and all that stuff. I got a lot of really good memories with this game, and I do have a soft spot in my heart for it, but at the same time, this came out like a year after Chrono Trigger, and
Yeah.
Chrono Trigger came out a year after, Final Fantasy VI. Like those are the SquareSoft RPGs that are like the definitive ones for me for the Super Nintendo era. Not throw shade on this game, still a great game, but coming from those games to this, I do remember it being, a bit more straightforward it's a really well designed game, and it played well for RPG veterans and RPG newcomers. But for me, yeah, it was like Chrono Trigger was like the shit, at this point for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
know
I
it
never,
came out
I never
before
saw it
this,
as a competition. Like to me, it's all just like it's like more RPGs for the dopest RPG system.
Yep.
I didn't actually touch Chrono Trigger till later. It's like 99, 2000, 2001, somewhere in there, via emulation, actually. When I had to go out and try to find a copy, which I couldn't find.
This guy's popping off on the super jump.
Yeah, that's like, it's all timing. This guy's pretty pro.
Yeah, and that's another thing of like talk about like the Nintendo aspect of it. It's like, like they definitely wanted to put in something where like, hey, how about like we have a move where if like Mario does a bunch of jumps and if you time it, you can keep jumping. And you know what? Go ahead and let him do it forever. Like fucking like this is absurd. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would say most
this is not normal.
importantly that this is one of the very first RPGs that put an active element in terms of like the battle system, right? So,
Yeah.
if you timed your button presses, you can guard, and then if you timed your button presses on attacks, you could do extra damage. So I would say that that's probably the most like revolutionary aspect of this game because as we've all been talking about recently, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 basically takes the active aspect of these games, whether it's Mario RPG, Paper Mario, whatever, and just like amplifies it, to a 10.
Yeah, I mean, I always forget that this had the sort of active button pressing thing, and it was one of the first ones to do it. In my brain, I always think of like Final Fantasy VIII and then Legend of Dragoon, but I mean, this did it first before those. Yeah. It was not the very first game to do it, but it did it before them. Yep. And it always escapes my brain that it did. But then I play it and I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, there might be some
RPG
before this that did it, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. Because I want to say this was like pretty early 96 release, I want to say.
Yeah, it was 96.
Yeah. Well, it's an excellent game, and the worst part about it is that Nintendo's decided to fucking make Paper Mario instead afterwards.
Hey, dude, first two Paper Mario games fucking slap.
Yeah, that's true. The reason why actually had a lot to do with a bunch of development stuff. It wasn't so much a conscious effort because the game wasn't popular or because it wasn't a good game.
Yeah, I don't know. Like for me, it was like this game has so much personality to it. A little Square like nods and winks, and how the characters interacted and the moves that they got. And it's like you go back, and then what do you get with Paper Mario? You're not getting fucking. Yeah, you're like you're not getting Geno boost and the giant pillars of lasers coming down. You don't get like Bowser in your party like summoning a giant boo to fucking scare the enemy to death.
Paper Mario.
Dude. You get like, Mario's got a fireball and he's gonna hit him with this hammer.
Thousand Year Door has hilarious writing. It's one of the best written Nintendo games ever. Shit's fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah, and funny is fine, but like I wanted something like this was cool. This was a cool game. Like I could have taken both. They just didn't want to give me both.
It's the last Super Nintendo game released by Square.
Oh man, no Bahamut though. All right, and I think everybody's free now. We'll put Super Mario RPG up here, and we are good. we have run through almost all. We'll talk about this another day.
That
But-
game, is that a 3 boys? That should be a 4 boys. Who didn't put that on their list?
3. I'm gonna guess 3 of the boys didn't. With that said, all right. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging in there. Video games are cool. Best of all time list. We're getting there. Looks like we gotta knock this out, and then we could probably knock this out on the same night, and we finally move on to that next phase, man, before retirement. All right. Well, that's it. Thank you so much.
Get our walkers ready.
Hello, future me. Hello, future us. See ya.
Yep.
Yep.